Yeah. No.
That's right. We
We
were talking
are
about what they could be
we are
doing.
setting it live. So yes, you find yourselves once more at the village speculating at what's going on. And yeah, so you look at Cliff Run Village high on the cliffs over the water. The gentle sea breeze is blowing past you after a terrible battle. And yeah, you talk with Keiko and Treadfar as the question of what to do next is perniciously on the horizon. You have your new one allies of the remaining loyal pirates, and you have the friendship of the village, although most of them are not really equipped to go out and fight the harpies directly. And you
Except
have
one.
the assemblage of all of your crew save Nova the Novice and a certain shinobi who you last saw picking off your enemies in an eastern village. They don't need equipment? Who doesn't need equipment? Sorry, I have the setting turned back on that drags you to look at people when they talk. Does anyone remember you turned that shit off?
When you change the address on how we load into Foundry, that resets to all default.
Huh.
Every time you do that, we have to be mindful of those settings that we like.
And a speaker. It's interesting. Oop. All
Also,
right.
don't think I'm concentrating
Okay,
anything
cool.
anymore. Let me turn that off.
So, yes, you find yourselves here upon the coast. The gentle breezes, the clattering of the shells, the many people moving about, living their lives. What do you do?
Should we like go out and save everyone else, or do we want to focus on the harpy
Well,
problem?
the everyone else,
The person who seems
the
to.
shinobi, we have an idea of where they are, but not. I'm assuming they one can handle themselves and two would constantly be moving. The only other person is Nova the Novice at the Harpy Tower, which is where we are going.
Out
Yes.
of character, they're at the harpy tower.
Yeah,
Oh, how are they still alive?
no clue.
They were taken there
Okay.
as a prisoner, it seems, but you don't know the fate of Nova the Novice until you go check.
Okay.
Who
Cool. I
knows?
was just
Maybe he
making
conquered
sure.
the whole spire by himself, single handedly.
Yeah, he has a harpy harem now.
Still a novice in my eyes, though.
Unlikely.
I'm like, are you surely? What if his charisma rolls are just that good?
You don't know about the charisma in that tower, dog.
Yeah.
Wait until you meet some of
Sorry.
these harpies.
I don't want to. Okay, so back in character. What is
I think the
our
first
next
question
play
is, do we
then?
want to go by land or go by sea?
Can we broach the tower by land?
I mean, it
Yeah,
is
there
connected to
is.
land.
So it's connected. There's like a jagged stone cliff that runs out to it, and it's like a stone platform, and the spine juts out of the stone platform.
How like big is that though? Like, is that enough to like fit a couple people on there or no?
Um, the plat yes, the platform is like much larger than the one you're on. It's like a small. Yes, there's
Mm,
enough room to maneuver. It's the base of their operations. There's enough surface area to walk around and have like a group of people.
okay.
You would probably have to go closely look at it if you want to like get closer numbers. But like, yeah, it is an
Mm,
adventure location. It is a dungeon, if you will.
dungeon. Okay. Um,
One of the
then
things
I
I would like. Oh, sorry. Finish up.
no, you can go.
No, I was going to change topics entirely. So finish up.
Oh, okay. Well, I vote we go by land then, because our ships are pretty not in the best. Why are there two tentacles?
Oh, the doppelganger explodes.
Oh God! There's another Zion too. No, is that the Grand Muscle?
Make sure you don't touch them.
Oh yeah, we don't want to.
Zion is fixing up the ship.
Which one? Oh wait, never mind. The other one exploded. Yeah, I vote we go by land then, just because the ships are not in the best condition right now.
But yeah, one of the thoughts I had is if they are keeping Novin as a hostage, they might want to try to trade for the chalice, assuming that's their end goal. Which I can't really think of what else might be. Because it's certainly not us leaving the island, because I feel like they could just kill Novin at that point. If that is the case, I would like to know the conditions for teleport for like the chalice teleporting, because maybe we could do the fake the trade.
Wait, but do we care about Novin that much?
Are you, you just say that from the cake? I guess we picked him up. But we probably should care about our crew in general, Zion, so
If anything else,
yes.
Tyla has a point where how you treat one crew member does tell the other crew members a lot.
Monobonos wasn't part of the original crew, like
Yeah,
it's
but
not under
he's
the
he,
contractually protected
The
I don't
part.
think we
original
should
You
crew
fully
have
is
a
a
lot of
minority.
people who are not part of the
I don't think we should
original
be asking
crew
you
that could
about this.
mutiny.
I don't think we
Yeah,
should be
no.
asking you about this, Kabacho. You look at Nova and the Novice like how you look at like food.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't hunt my prey.
Regardless of my feelings on saving Novin, we do have a lot of crew members that aren't part of the original crew. Enough that it will be a problem if they think how we deal with non original crew members as an issue.
I like to think that our crew knows how we try to treat our people, and we should definitely try to save Novin if we can. Like, we're not gonna try to abandon him there. But
Do you think the
I don't
Harpies
think
can?
we can get away with from Novin. Will be have to be something that we do along the way.
I just wonder if a fake trade is possible, assuming they are after the chalice. Which the notes does it specifically like say chalice and the heart?
The notes that you have from Seku,
Yeah.
his notes do discuss both the heart and the chalice. Yes.
We also don't know if the chalice is something that the harpies want to begin with, because that was Seku's goal. That's what Seku was here for, and why all the girl pirates are here.
Yeah, I think we had discussion last time. I don't think the Harpies expected the Grail to be here. It just happened that it was here, and what they're doing probably doesn't involve the Grail. So
Or maybe not originally. It might have
yeah,
evolved into it. I don't know how
yeah.
much
I'm so
knowledge the Sand Harpy has.
Do you want to look really closely? Because, like, I will say this. I assume that you take time to leaf through his entire notes. He does seem to have, like, a scrawled page where he discusses um, reports that the harpies are based out of a spine. And, like, he seems to be speculating about some details. Give me an arcana if you would like to read that more closely, anyone, because it seems like nonsense if you do not know exactly what he's talking about.
I think the only people who've actually looked at it was Kabacho and Lonnie. I don't think the Tenta would have any real reason to look at his notes otherwise.
Okay, so Zion, you're like, beats me. Not really my area of interest. I'm not really into bones that much. You know what I mean? And Kabancho, you understand that it is a speculation about what they might be doing and what the status of the bone might be. It seems to be from a blood magic perspective and talking about potential energies and the nature of these beings and the decay cycle and rebirth cycle that some of them seem to go through. He doesn't seem to think the spine would still be there, but no rejuvenation have happened under normal circumstances. He is, as like a margin with like question marks in it, just guessing, because he hadn't seen it yet, right? He was going off secondhand reports, guessing what the situation might be. He seems to run through a couple of possibilities. The one that stands out the most to Lonnie, who like really aligns a lot of stuff about life magic and the woad with blood magic and how the energy flows through very magical creatures. And Lonnie just has this insight to comprehend, alongside some guidance, that this whole ish seems like one would be poised to revive this entity if you could replace what it's missing. What it's missing is a spark of life essence, he speculates. And the Sand Harpy heart could be enough to refire it. But he also speculates that it is possible, because, I mean, at the end of the day, it came up on the Obsidian Dwarf Island. Maybe the Obsidian Dwarves killed it. And if they killed it, they probably killed it in such a way as to make sure it stayed dead. He speculates that something about the way it was killed requires a special resurrection, whether it was by the Obsidian Dwarves or not. If it requires a special resurrection, he kind of does some napkin math and guessing based on stories of what he's heard Wind Guides and Sand Harpies are able to do, and some other stuff. He's guessing that the Wind Guide needs one more detail, one more piece of the puzzle to be able to resurrect whatever this is. He doesn't know why, and he's not even sure she wants to, and it's kind of incidental to his plans, because as far as he's concerned, he and his friends are going to shoot her and take the shit, and it's never going to happen. But he's trying to figure it out just in case it might happen while they're attacking, right? And the big takeaway here is he thinks Seku believed there was one missing element to the resurrection of the spine creature, and that the divination available to the Wind Guide, such as maybe her bone casters, may have indicated that at a certain time or with a certain sign, that power would become available to them. And he seems to think that there is something fey to their logic, but I cannot place it. That is as far as his speculation goes. But Lonnie, it does occur to you that there's two options really with your role. Option one, they could probably complete the resurrection using the Grail. The Grail and the heart are enough. But the heart might be enough if it had a connection to an original copy, an original mirror of what is really there. Cosmologically, the Fae and the Fae ways are considered an echo of reality. They're considered to have been made after reality as a necessary after image, not like a deliberately crafted thing, but something that consequentially arose. Kind of like when you throw a rock in a pond and there's multiple ripples. It's the after ripple. So he seems to think that the two ways to do this are if they got our chalice, they'd be able to do it. But it doesn't seem like that's what they're waiting for. It seems like what they're waiting for might be an after ripple of some sort. So he thinks that there's some Fey shenanigans going on here. Possibly. At least that's the best he can figure. He speculates there might be information he doesn't have. He's doing all of this sight unseen. He's never seen the Sand Harpy. He's never seen the Wind Guide. He's guessing on all this shit.
Side note, fuck the Fae.
Indeed.
But yeah, Lonnie wouldn't really conceal any yeah, I think all of this is fair game. Although Lonnie's main concern is like why would like assuming Novin is still alive, which I could try to check on, like why, because we didn't have the chalice we didn't have the chalice. Maybe they mixed up which crew had it. I just don't really see why keep a prisoner alive. They've been kind of like toying with all of us.
Keiko says
killing us.
She has been toying with us, which makes me question what she wants us to do. But there's also the simple fact that she could be interrogating him. He's witnessed all of your abilities and magical spells throughout your journey. If she gets him to break, he could give her key details about how the strongest members of your crew fight. Redfar says, That's a brilliant insight that you have there, Lonnie. My, I hadn't considered either of these artifacts being used in such a way. But now that you mention it, and they kind of rub their horn and think about it for a moment and say, a little bit pensively, something of the after echo. Maybe they're hoping to open a Feyway and perhaps do some sort of a deal with an Archfey. But would they really want to? I can't imagine her choosing an alliance like that if she had any other option.
Does she have other options? Like, I'm not. What are her options in this situation here?
If all she wanted was personal power and ascent, she would have become a Sand Harpy herself already. She has to have some grander design. It makes sense to revive. I mean, if she manages to revive that creature, may we all be delivered by the saints, because Dreadfar, blanches a little, rubs a cloth on their purple cheek and continues. But anyway, I don't honestly know, other than she believes she can control it and then use it to, I don't know, conquer a small country? Destroy a large country? I mean, it's a pretty powerful thing.
Are there countries around here?
Well, no, not for many, not for like hundreds of nautical miles, but I mean, they come out of the sea for a reason. If it's revived, it could just walk back across the ocean floor, across the Slim Sea's floor, to a coast. That would be well within its remit. Indeed, some actually hypothesize that most of these species are some sort of amphibian that can only breathe out of water for a limited period of time, and that's why they were most known for rampaging across coasts and emerging from the sea.
Well, I think regardless, we should ask for some insight from. I'm sorry, I'm blinking on the name of the harpy.
Yeah, I think her name is Kriya. I'm also blanking. Yeah, no, her name is Kriya. She's around, with her, lovely halfling lover, and, I'm gonna go find them. They're chilling in their house, yep. So you ask for some insights, they come on down, they're happy to, tell you what they think, and Kriya, her prerogative on the situation is essentially... Oh god, I think I've put them underwater. Hold on. They
going for a little swim?
They phase through the floor. One moment, let me...
they want a romantic swim, since they know the Kraken's gone?
Yeah, clipping through the level.
Yeah.
So Kriya says, I don't really understand the things about the magic, but I will tell you this. She assembled the bone casters. They butchered... they actually stole some livestock from the village, and, Lyro kind of looks like a little sheepishly, and so people are like, hey, that was our cow. Yes, they They stole a cow, butchered it, ripped up the bones, carved magic sigils into them, cast them all around the top level of the tower, which is sort of a bowl-like structure. And there were lights and hisses. And after that, Skraya seemed to be incredibly confident about something. No one else was ever told what this grand divination ritual revealed, but that's what it had to be, some sort of powerful divination. The bone casters see the future in the bone.
I'm guessing no one has any real ideas of what that future could have been.
She says no one but Skrya and the bone casters were allowed to see it, and I guarantee you, the bone casters are, if anyone is most loyal to Skrya, it's them. So no one's whispered a peep, but everyone's extremely confident. People think that she must have found some sort of power even greater than becoming a Sand Harpy, otherwise she would have performed the transformation ritual on herself.
Do we know how one opens a Feyway?
So usually the Fae choose to do it, and usually the Fae don't reveal too much about it, but in your research into the Fae and the enemies of the Fae, you do know that the Thousand Hoof Chorus, a group of nomadic elves who take the best defense is a good offense strategy towards the Fae, know where they tend to open and can force them to open early. Usually a route has to be extended from the Feyway side, and then that route has to be ripped open. Normally it's done from the far side, but it could be done from this side. It's worth noting that the Fae make their plans across millennia, and they tend to have a haughty disposition of believing themselves far more intelligent than anything in this world. So it's possible that there's a Feyway nearby planned to open for a plan that's going to come to fruition 2,000 years from now that no one's checking on because, it's 2,000 years away. And she's just found it and is going to rip it open. That's a possibility. The other possibility is she has some Fey benefactor and she's going to perform some sort of ritual that is painful to the nature spirit. And you know that the invading creature wasn't destroyed by the obsidian dwarves, actually. You learned last time the nature spirit of the island struck it down, which is a very powerful killing in terms of what it can do, because it's a Barat, and it can literally strip the life essence from something. Kind of imagine if inflict wounds is poking something with a stick, imagine the guillotine blade version of that. So, yeah. The whole scenario is pretty much she could rip open the Feyway. The Feyway could be opened up by her Fey allies on the other side if she has any. And if she's going for this after image approach, strictly speaking, she doesn't need to open a Feyway. She just needs something with the right resonance. And that resonance is usually Fey, because, well, the Fey are the afterimage of all creation, meaning, strictly speaking, there's nothing that was originally made in this world that isn't reflected there, or so the logic goes. Whether or not that's true, I mean, scholars debate. It's possible she could just need a powerful enough Fey artifact.
I could try to ask someone about it. I can ask them 3 questions.
Is there a dead person around?
Commune.
Well, let's say, if any... Well, this sounds like a plan that definitely involves that... What's-his-face that's here? Progenitor? Right? This sounds like it has... If they want to do anything, it has to be with him, right?
I wouldn't I wouldn't say that too confidently.
The progenitor does
But-
have a demonic essence of like the life energy in a lot of twisted ways with pride and lust and such. So, strictly speaking, you could see a demonic revival being done on the kaiju using, yes, the energy of the demon. That being said, controlling that revived version against the will of the progenitor would be so difficult as to be almost impossible. So, unless she is in service of the progenitor, she's probably not going to do it. But of course, if the progenitor showed up and used it anyway, that would be pretty sticky.
So
Pretty sticky, you say.
we do have ways to communicate with the dead. Do we want to try to go to the dwarven ruins and ask some questions? There is one body there for sure, but there are spirits there.
And by the way, Casey, just to be sure, were you just reminding everyone that you have commune, or were you intending to cast commune? Or I recall that they're busy with it. But yeah.
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize I was muted. No, I'm not using it yet. Not until we figure out like 3 questions, because like I personally want to ask if the Fae has any plans here, since the whatever it is got to be is like kind of privy to the Fae shit. So, but yeah, no, I'm not gonna do anything until we figure out more info. But I'm just like putting it out there, like, hey, this is an option.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like something we could do. I'm not quite sure what to make of this situation, honestly. Just sounds like we could just get over there and mollywop them, and maybe that'll solve the problem. But yeah, I see the point of trying to understand the greater plan of what she's trying to do.
Because we might be inadvertently helping her.
Yeah. So, what about these Dwarvish ruins? I don't think I was there for that.
Go.
What did you find?
We talked a little bit about this. We found the dwarven castle that had a lot of dwarves in it. Or sorry, dwarf spirits and some servants.
Were they friendly?
Most of them, yeah. There was like 2 mean ones and 1 angry one.
What did you consider mean exactly? I'm curious.
Um,
Some mean ones.
I mean, the mean ones was just borderline racist.
I'm sorry? What?
I mean, this was they were at their time of them being alive. They were the dominating race, and they literally shipped in servants.
Okay, but like, who were they like
use.
racist towards?
Yes.
All non-dwarves?
Oh, okay. Just okay.
Like,
Gotcha.
I say servants, but they were slaves.
Okay, gotcha. I was like, what are you talking? I missed this bit of the information. What?
And
Ah,
the
okay.
angry
well,
one,
that's it.
something. One of the dead got unrest, and we put
Mhm.
it back to.
Okay, well, sounds like
I
you
don't know
guys have
how
fun.
happy that person would be for us to come back again, but could ask questions.
Yeah. So that sounds like fun. You guys can go do that. I'm
Um,
gonna stay here. That place doesn't sound fun.
at some point, I guess once we finish this discussion, I would like to try, or I guess like in the middle of the discussion, I would like to like go fuck off for a bit to try to like check on Novin with the eye.
Yeah. So you head off to go check on Novin, and Kabancho, you want to go check out the ghosts, and Zion, were you What do you?
Fixing the ship.
You're fixing the ship. Give me a tinker's tools to see how much you can get out of it. You know, there's the village offers you their dry dock support of craning up the vessel, and you do a really good job. So you do manage to get another health level to it. You think that you're probably going to be able to repair 1 health level a day, but you're not going to be able to reach full health until you go to a proper port for repairs. Meanwhile, Tento. So like Zion is directing like the repairs and handling a lot of the repairs itself. Boncher's gonna go talk to ghosts. Lonnie's gonna go do some eye stuff. What is Tento up to?
I don't know. What can Tento do? He just doesn't really have much
Yourself
to
to
do at this point.
oblivion.
I can't do that as long as I have
You
the
can
scarf.
come talk to ghosts with me.
I don't want to talk to undead. I just talk to you out of necessity.
Just straight face, not giving that a response.
All right. I think because it would probably get done first. The Lonnie, your eye roll. Gaze your eye out. Someone is crunching shells nearby.
Is it eye rolling because she's sighing, or is it eye rolling because of the spell? Lonnie rolls her eyes a lot.
At you.
That's irrelevant.
So, you cast the eye very well and powerfully, and it doesn't take very long. You do it so well, it's almost like you're struggling to keep your grip on it. But it's a very potent cast and will not be easily shoved aside. The eye. Oh, did I not make the eye see real good? Oh, I did. Okay, the other one. The eye. You cast it towards the tower to look at Novin, right? I presume. I'm gonna open up the. You literally explained it. Yeah, I'm gonna go open up the map. Also, I know you might be AFK, but there is going to be a visual aspect to this. I don't know if a friend wants to take a screenshot.
Sorry, what are you referring to?
There's going to be a visual aspect to this. I don't know if a friend wants to take a screenshot.
Sure, of like the eye on the map right now?
No, you're about to see some shit.
Oh, okay.
So, well, you're about to see some shit, I guess, but I don't see you guys coming over just yet.
Loading it now.
Okay. You see Novin the Novice kind of like restrained by weird bone-looking clamps to the wall. There is the breaking of white caps and the sound of wrenching sea below. You estimate that you are like 60 feet over the water below, and you see some cliff face that's only 30 feet below. And there's a lot of harpies just kind of like hanging around here. You see these little like dense, marrowy passages, and you see these wide open areas as well, and this like place you can dive down very openly. There's a harpy scale cutter wearing a lot of metal plate armor, who's looking pretty fancy with a cool scimitar, and a harpy bone cutter, who you note have interesting, might be tattoos on their face, and a high white plume that is very distinct from everybody else's. And they're talking to Novin, and he says, "I already told you everything I know." And
Traitor.
the harpy sail cutter says, "You didn't tell us that the druid could control water." I didn't know, okay? You mean that you've been sailing with her for months and she's never used control water? Listen, they mostly have me scrub the floors. I already told you everything I know. A likely story. And the bone cutter says, "Ah, so you've seen quite a bit of casting. What's that? She might not even be a druid." No one's like, "What? What? No! Get out of my mind!" He kind of starts to like bash his head back and forth and scream, "Get out of my mind!" And the bone cutter says, "Your mind is an open book. Just let it out. Hurt less." And you see a strange grabbing of her hand as like it like goes in. You're getting full audio visual because of how strong the cast was. But Lonnie can only control it so much with the wisdom of 5. Kind of zooming past. If there are any details in particular that Lonnie would like to get, we can discuss that later. I know that Casey's a wee bit busy right now, so I'll be sure to go back and get them. But if someone of the players would care to take a screenshot of what you're seeing right now, maybe zoomed out a little, this could be useful in the future. Hi, Lady Flora.
Yeah, I took a screenshot of the area.
Okay.
I am also done cooking right now, so like I can participate now, or but I'm also fine with moving on to someone else right now.
No, it's all good. Is there anything in particular you'd be focused on turning the eye towards and learning about in this moment? You see, there's a smaller tower to here that is like independent of the spine.
I was curious about the signs of ritual, if it's on this floor. If not, I would like to try to go look for it. But yeah,
you were told the ritual happened like a long time ago, like several months ago, on the topmost floor, which is open to the sky and sort of dome shaped. You could ascend towards that level though.
Yeah, I just wanted to see if I can get a hint of if it's just a divination thing or.
You ascend, you see there's more tower up here. You ascend again. And I didn't need to put plus 90, I meant to put you at 90. You see the tower really shortens out up taller and then sort of widens once more, and then you reach 130 feet. 130 feet above the rock below, 160 feet above the water. You see that there is this central bowl. You don't see any active signs of ritual, but you do see the Harpy Wind Guide Skaria, who again whips right around, and you see this very strange, almost polluted look in her eyes as she gazes at you. Her teeth, fang-like, dripping with something. And again, you, despite the strength of the casting, you lose the connection as you meet her gaze. And as far as you could tell, there were no remaining signs of ritual up there. It looks like it's totally, it's like a bowl exposed to the sky, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Alright. Boop, boop, boop. Alright, everyone. I'm going to take us to... I believe, Shin, you'd like to go to the Black-Red Palace of the Obsidian Dwarves real quick.
Yeah.
And you don't bring any friends with you. You just go alone.
Whoever wants to join.
No, only correction. No one wanted to join him. He didn't. There's a
Whoever
distinct...
wants to join.
The loneliest spider. Okay, so.
Also, real quick before we get into it too much,
Mm-hmm.
we could also do the Dwarven Rune setup and do that if we don't want to go attack the Harpy Spire right away. That might help us, but
You trot in past
I don't know by
the
how much
Memoria.
without the batteries.
Trot in past the Memoria. Manhunters who have not changed allegiance or anything. They are still your friends, as you programmed to be. You come up some stairs, and you find yourself, in the central palace. There are occasionally ghosts sort of wooing in and out at the edge of your vision in various rooms. What do you do to try and make contact?
I first go to the basement where I found Zion and Lonnie, and There was a room full of ghosts at one. Can't remember which one. But I'm gonna try to go back there, and I'm going to use read flute to call across death.
What the fuck? What is that?
It's one of the um magic items that we received from the priestess of the village.
Oh,
I don't know if you want me to try to navigate these runes,
Wait,
but
sorry.
I
You want to do
can't
what?
remember.
You want to do what with the what of the what?
I'm gonna go to the basement because I remember there was a room full of
Yes.
ghosts for the first part. I don't remember exactly which room. I'm gonna try to go there, and play the flute and try to talk with some people.
You play a fluty tune, and you find yourself down at -30 elevation. You do head back towards the room where
And
you
not the
encountered many
sarcophagus.
ghosts.
Not that.
Right, but you encountered them in here.
Ah, okay, yeah. That's the room I was thinking of.
Across from the sarcophagi, you find some ghosts. Ooh. There's still some ghosts moving around. They're actually different ghosts this time. There's no dwarf ghost. And as the ghosts sort of move around, you see different eras and different dress, different servants. But one of them stops, seeming to notice you, and says, "Oh, I didn't realize that we had anoraks here too. They're really bringing everyone, huh?"
Yes, I'm here to take records and inspect.
Oh well, sounds like you got a pretty cushy job then.
Well, having to climb every nook and cranny is not the easiest thing. Not
Fair,
with everything being so well polished.
fair enough. What can I help you with?
Um, I need to make sure that everyone knows um what the plans are and make sure I take records from multiple people. If you have a few moments, I'd have a few questions for you.
Of course. I'd relish the excuse to put down my box and stop working. They say putting down their box and stopping working.
Um,
wait, is it a ghostly box or like a
Yes,
regular box?
ghostly.
Does that mean the box had a soul too?
Ooh, well, I mean, do the clothes that they're wearing have souls?
No, I
Maybe.
suppose that's true. Maybe they should all be naked.
anyway,
Or
um,
I'm
do
asking a
you
real hard
know
questions here.
do you know what this castle is protecting against?
Kind of furrows a brow and says, "I'm not sure what you mean. This is the Red Black Palace. This is the administrative heart of the Empire."
Yes, but we're not going to leave. We're not going to build this and leave it unprotected.
Well, obviously, the entrance is very well defended and covered in arrow slits. I mean, you'd know that. You had to come. Oh, I guess you might have crawled over the wall. Yeah, I mean, this place is very well defended. And I mean, obviously, they'd have to land, and the port is always producing some runic monstrosity that can fire beams or launch axe heads the size of a building or whatever nonsense they've thought up this time.
What the fuck? Why don't
Do you
we
know
have
about
that?
the creature from the depth?
She kind of looks at you and says, "Is this a trick question? I restock shelves. I don't know about any creatures."
If you don't know, you can answer with you don't know. It's not gonna penalize you. I will be recording your name though, which, by the way, I'll ask for your name at
Okay.
You
Well, I don't
are
know.
so.
I don't know about any
Man, you don't
creatures
need
from
to
the
bring your
depths.
actual workday stuff in the game. It's fine.
the
You're
end.
not.
Um, and what are you building in this room?
And she's like, I'm just moving around the storage stuff, and she gesticulates to a wooden box that seems to have various tools that remind you of the sort of thing that Zion uses when it's working on runic technology. They said that they wanted these down here. They're re-upping the walls.
And I pointed the runes along the walls, and I asked, "Do you know the purposes of these runes?"
You think that they teach me things like that? No.
I mean, I don't know. I'm here to ask questions. I don't really. They never told me who.
Narrows her eyes and says, "Who told you to come down here and ask questions?"
I don't. I personally don't remember their name, but I'm going to try to recall and use the name of one of the dwarves that we met.
Roll me an int save.
This is not gonna.
And Tento never, not Tento, and Campancho never came back.
I mean, they're only ghosts, and I rolled
Yep,
or 5.
never came back.
Yep, never
Um,
came back.
You grope for it, and you don't really come up with anything. In just that moment, a dwarf ghost enters and says, "Hey, why are you two lollygagging?" And she's like, "He's asking me the questions." And he's like, "What questions?"
I'm here to inspect and record.
And he's
I
like,
guess you're next.
"No one told me that there was an Anorak administrator. This is quite out of the ordinary."
Well, how
Right.
else are you guys gonna crawl over and inspect the walls? Are you gonna climb all these polished walls?
Fair enough, but who do you report to?
I mean, I rolled my roll. I don't have a good name.
Yeah, he looks at you and he starts to
I
say,
garble something in Parvia.
and he's like, "What? How? How did you get in here?" And he starts to be like very suspicious of you.
I was escorted in. I don't know how you think I'd just walk in here.
And he's like, "Well, I'm going to talk to the overseer about this. This is all quite irregular." He kind of walks
Good. I'll
away.
follow you. And I'll try to follow him if I can. I
He
don't
kind
know
of
if I
like
can.
fades in and out of existence, but if you walk along the path, you might find something. You see him like
I
flicker
will.
in and out. Okay. You come upon an intersection, and two dwarf ghosts float into existence. And you overhear a conversation that sort of like starts in a faded language you don't understand, and then starts to translate into a language your ears can comprehend. And then said, "So then I told him, damn it all, who cares? Go crack the whole thing over. Ho ho ho." And the other one says, "Be careful. This island is full of spirits and dangers and beasts. Why do you think we've got every inch of the walls so deep and warded? We're importing Teichstein from across the sea." "Ah, yes, yes. They ask me, it's all ostentatious. I mean, they wanted a rune forge in their tomb. Frankly, I just think they're showing off at how rich they are. Be careful, friend. I've seen strange things. Plants that move like men and eat oxen. And beings of pure magma that could turn ice cold under the volcano. Your eyes are just addled from too much Teichstein dust. Just the rune carving. When you go on leave, you'll have plenty of time in one of those sea salt seaside villages that the servants mostly live in, and then you'll come back to your senses. I'm not so sure. Strange things have happened out there as well. I'm starting to suspect there's something else going on here. Your suspicions. No, I'm being serious. Did you know there was a tiefling born here recently? It happens all the time, you know. Bloodline got cursed 12 generations ago, just now kicking in. Demons are lethargic about that sort of thing. That's not what they're saying. Oh, who cares what they're saying? Do you know that old temple on the other island? Hey, we're told not to talk about that. And he kind of says, "Oh, fine, incurious bastard." And yeah, they kind of fade out. But you see the one who was talking about things he shouldn't walking down the hallway. Do you follow him?
Yup. As close as I can
You
without
find
running into them.
you find there's a dwarf talking to a non-dwarf blacksmith ghost by the forge. Tink, tink, and the blacksmith ghost turns around and says, "Ah, good of you to bring that hammer," and sort of like switches out tools. He's like, "It's an intense heat. The tools can only take so long." And he says, "Aye, shame they don't give you mithril to work with down here." And he says, "They would never give it to me. Aye, they're fools." Oh, indeed. After a moment, they kind of work it, and he's like, "So have you heard there was a tiefling born recently?" "Yes. Say it was purple with gold horns." Tink. "Yeah. You wouldn't happen to know..." He's like, "I don't know the parents, but I've heard a few things. They say some people tried to escape by going to the island. You know, the one with the thing we don't talk about." "Yeah?" "Well, I hear some of the people trying to escape came back. Willingly. And yes, the parents were among them." "Oh, maybe it's the island of baby making." "Quite," he says, rubbing his chin and sort of like dapping off his sweaty brow. He steps away from the heat of the forge for a moment to examine his tools and say, "You know, I hear they sent a survey team to the spine." "Ah, that thing. They still haven't come up with a plan to get rid of it." "I don't think they're going to." "Why not?" "Something about the Barat. That whale turtle or whatever the fuck it is. Come now, they're surely not as afraid of some nature spirit. I mean, we came here just fine, didn't we?" "That's just the thing. I overheard..." He kind of looks around. He's like, "You didn't hear this from me." And he kind of pulls a bellow that makes the forge make a loud sound. He's like, "Not a word." And they step in, and you have to get really close in order to hear them. And he whispers and says, "I heard the court priest say that the conclusion was the spine could not be tampered with. Otherwise, it was possible that the spirit of the island would regain its power." "Regain its power?" "Yes, apparently what we face is a shadow of its former glory." "What? What happened?" "Killed whatever that thing was that came up on the island." "How can we know all this?" "Apparently the priest's survey team was thorough. They investigated the site. They found marks on the bone that couldn't be there unless it was slain by some great being wielding the power of the woad. Could have been a druid." "Oh, it could have been a druid. You see any druids on this island?" "Maybe they're an island hopping druid." "Oh, an island hopping druid. Come on now, man. Must have been some great nature spirit. Well, anyway, all I know is smithing. We gotta get back to work." He dabs his head off before returning to work, and the spirits fade from existence. Cabancho, you feel a strange air. Roll me a wisdom save.
You're good at those,
Now
right?
I'm never seen again.
That's when I disappear.
You said wisdom save?
Yeah.
You're good at those, right? Yeah.
It's always after the valuable information people die, not before. Come on.
At
Never
least you're
forget
I rolled
consistent
another
with the
5.
fives.
You hear a cold chill. And a voice speaks something in Dwarvish, and then in Common says, "Not often I see someone new come to walk among the dead."
Wait, do I actually see this person? Or
You turn around and it looks like there's a dwarf there, and he looks like he's looking right at you. And he just said that.
I've come to learn and pay respects.
He nods, and he says, "Well, what have you come to learn?"
I'm here to learn about that spire and why this place is so heavily fortified.
The spire is its own story. As for this place, let it be a lesson to you. You can build the strongest fortress you want. You build it against the wrong enemy, it will crumble in a day. Of course, they had means of controlling the volcano. He ponders for a moment and says, "Tell me, when did you die?"
That seems an awfully personal question without even knowing your name.
He says this feels like an awfully personal way to meet.
My name is Kabansha. What's yours?
My name is Dvarin.
You said Devar?
Dvarin. I put it in chat.
Okay.
Well, now that we're so acquainted, Kabancho.
Insight check. On one, if I can figure out, is this person alive or dead? Am I going crazy? And two, I guess like,
Are you inciting the guy or are you inciting yourself?
we'll leave that to Lee's interpretation.
Am I going crazy? Insight checking myself.
God damn, at least I got one higher than before.
Who could say what's real? All you know is what he's asked you. He looks flesh and blood.
And the other part that I was trying to ask was on like trustworthiness. Does he look sketchy? Does he look like Tento?
I mean,
Are you asking?
Who
if
can
an
say?
undead spirit?
he gives you a pretty stone face, but that's uncommon for a dwarf. You don't have any indicator one way or the other, frankly.
I'm gonna step forward and reach out my hand for a handshake.
He looks and he says, "Oh yes, that custom among the men." And he steps up and takes your hand and shakes it.
Oh, yeah, that's enough for me. I died many seasons ago to a nasty wolf that really had it out for me.
Oh, a wolf. He looks at you and he says, "Yes, I can see the scar. But then it seems you've done well enough for yourself. Me,
Can I insight check him when he says I can see the scar? Because to my knowledge, that should be
you know that you have no visible scar. You just know that for fact. It went away. Anything that would have been left of it went away when you were regenerated when your resurrection occurred.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't be able to see the scar. You could roll an insight to see if he's being, like, metaphorical.
He sees the mental scars that the wolf caused
The
you.
trauma.
Yeah, he sees the trauma.
He looks dead
Can
on.
you see the picture of this wolf?
He looks dead on at where the scar should be when he says it. And he says it with no suggestion of mirth or joke or anything metaphorical. It's like
You seem very. Sorry, go ahead.
it's like he literally sees it.
You seem very in tune with life and death. What about you, friend? Have you died?
If only I could count it in seasons. Volcanic ash isn't the way to go, friend. The way it fills your lungs, the way it lines your insides, the horrible desire to gasp for air, knowing there's only poison left. We dwarves have a certain haughtiness about us when it comes to breathing air humans can't take. No dwarf yet has been born who can breathe pure ash, my friend.
Were you a part of the group? They were celebrating something, and they all succumbed to some gas next to the throne room.
I had been invited
This is fucking
from one of
Pompeii.
the outer provinces. I came, despite my father's wishes. Perhaps he was correct. The obsidian dwarves had grown powerful and began to demand allegiances. There were no proper high kings in my day. It seemed we would gain much. Little did we know they were at their end. But the signs were there. You can't use all that runecraft on a huge fleet to dominate one sea and expect a worthy return. Their needs grew greater, and so their tax climbed higher. Their grasp and their reach grew discordant. I was there, filling myself with their wines and their ill-gotten spoils and spices, hoping to beg some leave from the burdens of my father. Perhaps I died as I should have, a man willing to come and beg for scraps from tyrants. And perhaps it is right that wolves should kill the occasional traveler on the road. Otherwise, he smiled wryly, we might get too complacent in the safety of the scene.
I have a few questions if you don't mind answering them.
I suppose, in a sense, I have all the time in the world.
Do you know the harpies that
It's
live
'cause
in the
he's dead.
spire? Have they been here since this castle, this palace?
He molds his lips and he says, Harpies. No, no harpies here. There were harpy pirates, of course, but they were always beaten back to the edge of the empire. Enough runic cannons and axe tossers, and they run away.
What were these warded walls against?
These were that the dead might rest, that the power of the dwarves be absolute over the island, that the volcano would be kept in thrall, giving its energy to this forge here, and more importantly, to the ruin docks to the south.
Out of character. Have we been to these rune docks? I don't
You've seen a
recall that.
big cliff that seems to just be cracked off, and you've seen like piles of stone and stuff as you sailed past that looked suggestive of there being something sunken down there.
Hmm.
They tumbled into the sea when the Kano came loose.
And were you, or I guess not you, but were the obsidian dwarves fighting against the Barat of this island?
As far as they were concerned, that spirit was of no concern beneath them. Taught them to respect the mountain, it did.
And what do you know of the spire, the creature that it is from?
Those things once ravaged the people who lived beyond mountain. But their stories are not my stories, and their stones are not my stones. They are not my ancient enemy. I know little.
Do you know the rumors that were once told in these halls about
I was a
tiefling?
I was a guest for a short time. I did not pry into their local affairs. Tieflings are not terribly uncommon, although if one were born locally to non-tiefling parents, questions would probably begin to get asked. I know there's some sort of structure on an island to the northeast of here. They claim it was an off-limits building, but it didn't look like their architecture.
And he's referring to the
These are
progenitor's temple, right?
definitely talking about the progenitor temple, yeah.
All right. Do you know the name from the tiefling of the rumors?
No, like I said, I never heard that rumor.
Oh, right, you did say that. One last question. What binds you here? Is there anything I can do to help?
He thinks about it for a moment. Hey, CBs! And the dwarf ghost looks you up and down and says, what binds you?
My ambition, my mission, my friends.
He smiles. And he says, then I pray none of the three should leave you. But if you must cling to one, in the end, I suggest your friends. And with a certain somberness in his eyes, he says, I think that's what you're looking for. And he points over your shoulder at the southern stairs. You whip around. Oh,
This one? That one goes back up?
yep, you whip around, and he's gone. but you see a faint trail of ghostly boots headed up.
Blindly following the death trail.
Yet you ascend back up, and inside Keep, you find yourself in a fine side chamber. Several palace guard are here, and there's a figure who you can't quite see, but who speaks in an ethereal tone that translates as it cuts through the air. And the voice says, "The counsel of the priest is not to be second-guessed. The situation is grievous. Yes. The Barat is stronger than we believed. We must redouble the defenses. The first sign of possession or nature worship, bring me anyone who has begun to act aberrantly. There will be no permission, with the survey complete, to go to the Spire Island, and the approach and cliffside will be watched." A voice from behind the shoulder says, "Are we to outlaw every piece of this island? It should seem to me that the heart of a great empire should need no fear of its features." The voice barks, "Silence, elf! You are here at my king's largesse! My emperor, in fact! Forgive me. His title is so new, it seems you forget it. Do you forget as well your strength that comes with this new claim? Can an emperor be afraid of a bone? You're just bitter we didn't send you along. You would have been swimming in its marrow, licking the bone for the last of its power." "Perhaps I might have. Why?" "Afraid of what it could become." "I'll never know what my liege sees in you." And the other voice says, "Don't worry. That's none of your concern." And as the sort of voice steps away, the main voice says, "All right. It's settled. Me leave the situation in stasis. So long as neither moon rises, our tide won't come out. First sign of anyone trying to manipulate either the Barat or the skeleton, bring them to me. And if it looks like it's about to happen, go ahead and kill them first." And with that, the palace guards sort of trot out. It's Cabancho. Cabancho, you are alone in a ghostly place. You feel as if though you have seen everything this place has to show you that is of relevance to your search. It was a ghastly whoosh.
Yep. I think it's time for me to go.
All right. So you head out, and meanwhile, friends back at the village. Zion is going repairing the ship, and Cliff Run Village. Well, Cabancho is out. Does anyone get up to anything in particular, or are you guys just chilling? Like Tento and Lonnie, it didn't take you that long overall to do the iCast. So like, would you be up to anything while he's out?
Not that I can think of, because I'm kind of just waiting for more information before I do commune.
All right, Tento, you're in the village. People are chilling. People are smashing shells, mixing herbs.
I thought you were saying smashing shelves. I was like, what the fuck? Is there rager going on?
No.
Oh,
No.
I guess actually, could I be in like a quiet, isolate part of the village and pull out the book to start reading it?
Yeah, a non-shell crushing part of the village. Yeah, I'll there's like these older ruin portions that people aren't really at, and I say that, but they're all pretty close to people's houses. Yeah, you chill in like a more isolated part of the village where no one's gonna bother you. The crew is chilling, checking out the bridges. Some of them doing some fishing, The locals are having a fun time. And yeah, Kabancha, you return. And you find
Wait, Lee, out of curiosity, is Grace awake?
Grace the Golden?
Yeah, or they actually have her on like a paralyzed.
No, they got her. They got her paralyzed 24/7.
Okay, damn, that sucks.
Indeed.
What a awful life you subject her to.
Well, better than being dead in a sense. Lonnie, Lumi, and Kabancha. You see Lonnie and Lumi when you re-enter the village. Lonnie is reading a book.
I whisper in actually, do you know Parvia when you're not in your combat state? Oh, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna whisper to you and call Dice Brack.
I do always know Parvia. It's just I only understand Parvia in combat.
Okay. I'm back from the Obsidian Citadel, and I got some new information, but nothing to tell really like enlightening. But I need to talk to Zion. Do you want to come with? Or do you want me to come get you once you figure out a plan?
Lonnie's
You two
gonna
work.
put up the book and follow Gabancho.
All right, you the group assembles, and I presume Zion takes like a brief break from its oversight of construction.
It takes
Was
a quick
Tento
lunch break.
invited?
Was Tento invited? I mean, I don't know. Was Tento?
I didn't hear
I don't know,
Gabancho
was
invite
I?
Tento.
Was I
Just saying.
invited?
sees the
Kabancho?
group.
No, I will get everyone.
It wouldn't be too unusual to leave Tento out for Kabancho.
Yeah, I let everyone know what I found. That one in terms of timeline, I wasn't quite sure about this when I first left. That the Harpy Pirates were always there, but they weren't really a threat back then. The Spire Skeleton has been there before the Obsidian Citadel or Citadel Palace. Sorry. So Seiku's theory that the dwarves had something to do with it isn't true. And the Obsidian dwarves were actively fighting against Borat. So turning on that force field or whatever ward, as Zion was trying to do earlier, may not be the greatest thing for this village because this village is in harmony with the Borat right now. Might throw a wrench in that if we turn them all on.
I thought the Barat was all for that though.
You asked the
Am I
Barat, and
mistaken?
the Barat was cool with it. The
okay.
balance
Cool.
of power situation seemed to be focused on what your summary was, like the summary the last guy left you with was less concerned about the wards and more concerned with ensure nothing happens to the skeleton or the spirit to change the balance of power.
Okay.
I thought our character that Lee mentioned that we know for sure that Barat's the one that killed the skeleton.
Yeah, the
The
Barat
skeleton.
basically told you that it did.
Although it's good to know that that event still predates the dwarves.
Indeed. I believe Treadfar had previously speculated, Treadfar speculates again, indeed, reiterated my theory that the Barat was actually weakened enough for the settlement of the Obsidian Dwarves due to the fact that it had to spend so much of itself striking down the foe in a way that it would not regenerate from.
Hey, does Dreadfar have like golden horns? Or what was the description again? Purple with golden horns or something like that?
Treadfar has purple skin with, I believe I've described them as black horns, but I would
Okay,
note you have
okay.
seen that when Treadfar uses their lightning abilities, sometimes the lightning is a little golden. which you don't usually see Treadfar do, because Treadfar is not really a tiefling of violence.
Okay, so hey, Treadfar, can you do me a favor?
Yes, what is it?
Tento's gonna like
Think fast.
I don't know, come outside for a second.
We are outside, Treadfar says, gesticulating onto the platform you're on.
Well, oh, sorry, I thought this was a hut.
No, this is like a platform overlooking the water. For like, you can like pull up boats on and stuff with the beams. That's why there's no line of sight walls on it.
I feel like
Tento-
Scout's one of the people, like, if you hear him ask for a favor, you immediately start to get concerned.
Treadfar is too
Tento's gonna
innocent.
take out a grounding rod and stick in the ground
Hmm.
and like ask Treadfar to like zap that for me real quick. I just want to see how powerful your lightning is.
And Treadfar is like, oh, well, you know, I am.
Sure.
I don't usually do this, but Treadfar kind of like blushes a little and is like, I suppose. And they whip out, what the fuck is the name of the it's not in the foundry sheet, but they do like a minor like of lightning and kind of like pull at it and it snaps away and it looks like it would like yank your feet out if it targeted an actual target, not the rod. And it does like a minor like d4 of damage, and you see that it's mostly like blue-white, but there is a tinge of gold where it makes contact with the target.
And what about
Encore,
Treadfar's
encore.
horn? Yeah,
And-
what about Treadfar's horn?
Treadfar is like, I can only do that once a day.
Well, I mean, like, I'm just asking if like if their horns like turn golden or not.
No, their horns seem to remain black, but you do know that there can be like it's not like there's a mixable degree of, you know what I mean?
It's a what?
Not all of the half siblings are going to have the exact same set, if you see what I'm saying.
Okay.
But Treadfar still reminds of their sire, as it were.
Hmm.
So too does a purple and gold tiefling. Sound a bit like a certain sire you know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming Treadfar was there for when I was explaining things, and I would bring up the purple tiefling with gold horns.
Treadfar,
I would ask Treadfar directly, like, do you know of any history about this purple tiefling?
and Treadfar says, well, I mean, there's plenty of us, but it's no secret that my sire's temple is nearby. Anyone who were to, shall we say, reproduce, particularly in a ritual fashion there, would have a chance of inviting in the progenitor's influence. I'm not surprised that tieflings like me would be born in this area. Of course, it seems that a lot was done with runecrafts to minimize outside influences. I would be surprised if it happened in that palace you were describing, but these outlying villages don't seem to have had quite as much protection layered on them. Particularly not in the outer zones, but it's also possible someone deliberately went there.
So yeah, more information, but nothing that's really enlightening. But the progenitor, the spire, and the Barat are all tied together in this.
I'm just wondering what the progenitor role in all this then.
Treadfar kind of
Yeah,
rubs their
wait,
chin
sorry, how do
concerned.
we know the progenitors actually tied to this again? I may have missed that part.
I mean, it's an assumption, but it's mostly
Okay.
between the progenitor's temple was here before the obsidian dwarves predates them, and the fact that the progenitor has been influencing since that time for this island.
Okay.
So progenitor has like plans for this island in some shape. We just don't know what.
Okay.
It's
Also,
possible it's
are we just-
coincidence.
Are we just gonna ignore the fact that the fucking Barat here, like, just killed everyone here? Like, killed
Wait, when did
all
that
the. He's the one that made. I thought it was. Did he not make the volcano blow up on them? Am I crazy?
Oh, you're talking about the obsidian dwarves.
Yeah, like. Are we just gonna ignore that? That he basically
So
committed genocide?
you have evidence that someone stole the Sand Harpy heart that was powering it.
Mhm.
When that happened, what they were doing to the volcano itself turned around. Additionally, these
Okay.
people are descended from survivors, so it didn't kill everyone on the island, although it did seem to kill everyone who was in the palace
Yeah,
and a lot of the other
it
stuff.
killed all the rich people.
And the
But
unfortunate servants that were
not
there.
too many, yeah, whatever unfortunate servants were there. Okay.
Um,
I think that's fucking still not good. But
I mean, we've seen Barats do a lot of destruction to restore what balance that they are trying to keep. It's not that unusual.
it's unusual to be loved by anyone.
We've seen what it looks like when an organized group tries to deliberately mess with Barats, so honestly, not too surprised.
Okay, so what do we? So we learned a bunch of stuff, but not anything that
Not
could
anything
help us with our.
definitive.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately
Okay.
not.
Unless we're too
Uh,
stupid, which could be a possibility.
I don't suppose Lonnie gleaned anything from the book in the time that Kabanja was gone, right? Or am I just like still in the simple basic shit?
so reading the table
The
of content.
forbidden book.
Yeah, Lonnie's just been stuck on the table of contents. That would be hilarious, but obviously Lonnie's a lot smarter at that. But would still be
Lonnie
funny.
panicked and can only read Parvia for a short time.
Lonnie's like panicking, like she's like trying to take a test and suddenly she can't read her test books.
Rip.
No.
There.
Oh gosh, that'd be too funny.
As
So
you find yourselves faced with a great conundrum. What questions will you ask when you commune, and what will you do from there?
no. And I'm sort of what do we do with this information? How is it relevant to what we're trying to do now? We learned a lot of like cool lore and stuff, but like doesn't really help us figure out what we want to do now.
I guess right now Lonnie's questions for commune, I guess, are um one, do the Fae have any plans on this island? Two, does uh what's her face again? I guess the harpy leader want the chalice? And I haven't thought of a third one yet.
Can we ask what the? Oh, sorry, I don't remember her name either. The Harpy leader. What can we ask specifically what their plan is, or is that too complicated of a
No, we
question?
need yes or no questions.
Ah,
I guess Lonnie could maybe ask if the progenitor is involved in with the harpies.
Yeah, that would
Got
be a
better
good question to ask.
questions.
wait, what was the first question then? I thought that was the first question.
First question is do the Fae have any plans for this island?
Okay.
Second one is does the harpy leader want the chalice? And then third would be is the progenitor involved in the harpies' plans?
Hmm.
Any better ideas?
No, that sounds solid to me.
Okay,
No, I don't have any other better ideas.
Lonnie's gonna ritual cast this shit because why would I waste a spell slot right now?
So, are we? Sorry, we're waiting for something, or
Yeah, Lonnie's casting Commune now.
we? I didn't know if I had to click on something, but you go and you cast commune, and use.
No, I'm just posting a text in case you need a refresher on like the details of the answers.
Mhm.
But yeah, first question. Do the Fae have any plans for this island?
You are in a black void. Red vine and petal grow up around you. The white stem is at its center. You look down and you see something that you cannot comprehend, a rising of an entity that flows with all the suggestion of life made too perfect. White and red flesh vine plant, and the answer flows up to you. Not soon.
Two. Was it does the harpy leader want the chalice?
Yes. There's a swaying of the stem, and you feel as if though you herald the very deity's words as you say this.
Three is the progenitor involved in the harpy's plans.
There's a moment and a distant tremor, and it feels like this comes to you across great time and with great difficulty. The answers that are not yes or no tend to be that way. And this one is more than they know. There's a shuddering, and the great gate of communion closes, and you feel the petals close in around you. The black void blacked out by red petals that seem to emit their own light, and you sink into the white plant flesh, and you pass back into this reality, and the commune is over.
So
How
does
you
the
feeling,
progenitor
Lonnie?
use they them pronouns?
No.
Okay, I was
don't-
like, which they is it this time?
It seems like you got the sense it was a collective they of the harpies. More than the
Okay.
harpies know.
How you feeling, Lonnie?
As good as I can after dealing with whatever it is. It was more generous with answers than I expected. I guess I don't really know if I was necessarily talking to it or something else, but well, the harpies do want the chalice,
Okay.
so I guess for
All
some
right,
reason
that's a
they
good
found
start.
out about that. The Fae don't seem to be involved in this. They apparently have plans for the island, but it's not anytime soon. So it seems
Okay,
like
that's
they're not.
something else sort of island to worry about.
I don't know what not soon means, but at least it's not relevant to our current
The current
predicament, I
situation.
suppose. Um,
That's for the future villagers to deal with.
but the progenitor is involved in this, although I don't think the harpies are aware that the progenitor wants to be involved. So that's very concerning.
So like you relay like the answers gave you word by word. I'm just because like if you did that, then it'd be like, what the? These are barely answers, Lonnie. Who do you talk to when this happens?
No, that's the explanation Lonnie gave.
Okay, okay,
Trying to interpret the shit.
yeah. So if you told us like word by word what it said to you, then it'll be like, what the fuck's going on here?
Yeah, and
this
then
work?
Lonnie would be like, "You see what I have to fucking deal with all the fucking time."
Just like burst out. I was like, okay, sore spot. My bad. Oopsies.
You try interpreting dreams for basically your whole life. They're always vague. Why are deities always vague?
Do you need a minute, Lonnie?
Anyways, that's an alternate timeline.
When Lonnie turns crazy, and just goes on an evil rampage.
Crazier. Where she just
I do
rants
think
about-
it would be fun to play a villain campaign with Lonnie because God clerics, evil clerics get some shit.
Yeah,
They do.
it is kind of scary.
Alright,
Inflict wounds is a wild move at low levels. Anyways,
Sorry.
But yeah, so it's good to know that they are going for the chalice. So do we even
Well-
get Tyla involved?
If that was the case, though, why didn't they just, attack us? Why couldn't they
My-
just take the chalice? Like, they have a force that's just unlimited bodies, right?
Wait, which side? That was the Grail
I mean,
Pirates.
they have attacked your people while they were divided, but they haven't come to attack you right now.
Yeah, that's the
I mean,
strange part.
why attack us when we can take each other out? Isn't that what we were trying to do with the Kraken?
Okay, but
Yeah.
now that that has happened, where are they now, though?
You
Why
know
aren't they
that
doing anything now?
you know that this village is historically, thanks to the geography and everyone working together, been able to repel harpy attacks. Although you think that the harpies could probably take this place if they went all out.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, there's a question, but you could, if you ask Kriya, she says that usually speaking, they're not going to commit their forces to a place where, like, yeah, we'll win eventually, but a bunch of us are going to die. They were more willing to
Yeah.
pick at you when you were broken up. But also, if you, I mean, yeah, they could just move against you, and she might if she sees no other path.
yeah, and that's the thing, though. Like, I understand, like, a lot of them could die, but we also seen a lot of them just be revived. So why are they
harpies?
just throwing?
The harpies?
Yeah, have we not seen
No.
them get back up? I could have sworn we saw. them
You've
get
seen
back
you've
up.
seen the pirate Seku was reviving people.
I thought it was the harpies too.
They can
No.
get they were getting healed, but they weren't rejuvenating. They weren't reviving.
There was some weird magic that they were using, and it was unclear of exactly what was going on, but it wasn't like taking up the dead wrong.
Okay, never mind then. That's my misunderstanding. I thought they were just getting back up.
I mean, with the chalice,
there
they
was-
probably could, but
No, there was a
Yeah.
time where they just kept getting more and more reinforcements, and it was a never-ending wave of them. That's all that you might be thinking of.
That might be it. Yeah, I just
these
remember
tend to
that.
not all harpies look the same.
Right? They're actually just cloning a bunch of harpies. It's just the same one over and over again.
It's that type of story.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I guess.
Oh, and they are interrogating Novin.
Eh?
And he's involuntarily giving information. It
Traitor.
seems like they're able to forcefully read his mind.
Kabancha just read just blanked out the involuntary part and just heard giving information.
Oh, and their leader totally their leader absolutely knows that I scried on them.
Like,
I hate to say this, but what creature hasn't been able to do that? But then again, we do go up against a lot of crazy shit.
When we're checking out the major antagonists who have special magic powers, yeah, they notice they're getting scried.
It's like, God, why do they have to also be just as powerful, if not more? Gee.
how do they all know? Lonnie, you need to be sneaker about it. you need to raise your sneak while scrying, I guess. I don't know. How does magic work?
What?
Can you roll stealth roll on it? But okay. So how do we move forward in this now? Do we think she's desperate enough at this point to just attack us the minute we stick our necks out, or is she biding her time for something else to happen?
I'm not sure, but I mean, I'm assuming they watched the whole fight. They saw us take down the Kraken. They saw us take down the other Grail pirates.
Yeah, that's another weird thing. Would
Um,
that be like the perfect time to attack? They really want us like out?
There were
I don't know. I would say
harpies.
that'd be tricky
There were
because if they attack too,
harpies that you saw nearby, but they didn't come in to like finish you.
because if they attack too soon, there's a chance that everyone just turns around and attacks the harpy as like a common enemy.
No, I mean like if they saw us the whole fight, they saw that we took down Grace. The Kraken's dead.
I mean, they did kind of attack, but like people mostly shot at them and they left, so it wasn't that big of a deal.
It was like a committed fight. I don't know.
But again, it's just so strange that like if there was a time to attack, that probably was it. After we fought the Kraken, after we fought Grace, after we fought Seiku. I'm wondering why the hesitation. Because they have no problem to get from around the island. They can fly and fly pretty far and fast. So why?
I mean, honestly, these are valid questions. I don't really have a good answer for you. I don't know. We can only speculate at this point.
Yeah. Because I personally cannot think of a better situation to ambush someone if they really want the Grail.
Maybe
wondering
they're
how-
worried about it falling to the water. I don't know really how well they deal with the water.
Or maybe something with the Barat. Because I'm assuming they also know that we've did our pilgrimage. Maybe they're worried that the Barat is on our side. Sorry, I forgot what the Barat's
think-
name is. Lee, could you remind us?
I think it's like the Great Spirit of the Island or some shit. Let me check.
Time check.
Oh, yes, we'll find that out after the 10-minute break. I mean, I could actually tell you before then, but you know.
Wait, no, we have to leave some suspense.
I'll be back
What's
at
the
19.
Barat's name?
Find out next time. It'll be a good guess that Pokemon. Guess that Baratimon. We showed the outline.
Hey, we have met multiple Barats.
The
You could do
Watcher
it.
Below.
Oh, there you go.
The Watcher below. Okay.
Are we audio deaf when we go on break?
No, not usually. Some people do that, but
Okay.
I don't, just
Is that-
because anything that we can do to reduce the amount of. I intended to put clip reels in this period, but never did. But basically, the longer that you have nothing but like a static image without even people talking or anything, the more people click off. And it used to be very notable during Fallout streams that there'd actually get quite a few people watching.
Oh, okay.
So it was a tactic I adopted to reduce that. But yeah.
I was gonna say, Watcher below these nuts.
Well, you just said that anyway, so I don't know what's gonna
Yeah.
change.
I got all the jokes, guys.
Amazing.
This is the jokes of Darren segment.
And now people click off.
Nah,
You know,
this is where
if-
I leave.
If those people can't appreciate good humor, who needs them, right?
Ho, ho, ho.
That was the end of the campaign.
And now I get kicked out.
Well, there's no good humor for them to appreciate here right now, so I guess they left for
Holy, all my jokes are just grade A material, you know? It's my shining personality that really gets them. I don't know why I thought that thing was a seal at first. That was weird. I was like, what the fuck? Okay.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba. Hello, Frim. I'm back.
Hello. What are we eating today, Lee?
Chips. I'm having some late July chips, which come back seasonally. And then they disappear sometime around late July, which I just think is a great meme. So, friends, dreamers, Romans, countrymen, Zion is here. Is Shin here? Is Case here?
Yep. I'm here.
Here.
Okay. So, we find our heroes plotting in Cliff Run Village what they are going to do about the dastardly harpies and their vile ways and plans.
Do we have any else we want to do? I feel like there's like more to this than they want the cup, but I'm not quite sure what they want it for.
Certainly possible.
I'm also okay with just going in there with guns ablazing and saving Novin the novice and getting the heart.
We know where Tyler is right now.
Yeah, she's chilling on the boats. She's available. You can dock to her.
Okay, yeah. Lonnie would just want to go, I guess, like update her on the situation and then just like ask if like I guess you don't need to tell me the details, but if we were to offer the chalice as trade, could you just teleport it back to your hands?
Crown Tyler kind of rubs her hair and says, "It's not impossible, but if she got custody of it, I just don't know what she can do." After that trick she pulled with the energy from the San Harpy heart at the chalice and everyone getting teleported around, I'm a little skittish about letting her get close to it. Because in theory, yes, I could. But in practice, I don't know what she might be able to pull.
Wait, I was under the impression that the progenitor teleported everyone around. I thought it happened after he showed up.
He did show up, but there was also like both of the artifacts present, and there was like a shing going on. But like, yeah, I mean, I think they were both related. Is the short answer to that?
Is there can, do you think there's a way to fake the chalice? Like, is there a way we can like replicate its energy, if only temporarily?
She thinks about it, and she says, "If I'm nearby, I should be able to do it." Supposing you have a convincing looking fake.
I can see what Zion can do. Zion's pretty handy.
Hmm.
Also, remind me. Oh wait, no, she did agree to help us with the harpies,
Yep.
right? Because that's part of us getting off the island.
Correct.
Well, I guess I have my answer, so I'm gonna go ask Zion if he could perhaps like fake a make a fake chalice,
All right, Zion. So you think
or
about
if it can make a fake chalice.
you think about it, and you think, well, we have a lot of gold with us, and you think if you were willing to melt down 100 gold pieces, you could probably, get some gems from the collection and make it look convincing. It wouldn't stand up to close inspection, but it would do the job. Because the Machine of No Name has the mobile forge.
Mm-hmm. Let me look at something real quick.
I'm sorry, Kyle. What'd you say?
I just said, let me look at something real quick. I think I could do. Yeah, we can try it.
All right.
Are people willing to let me melt down the gold?
Do we have 100 loose gold pieces? Because we have a lot of wealth, but most of them are not in gold.
I think you do, but I could be wrong.
I have 312 gold on my person.
And
Sure,
just to confirm,
Zion
is
have
that
more
in gold coins or is that in the loot?
gold
Or the
coins.
question is, did
These-
Grace have 100 gold pieces on her ship?
Yeah, I mean, there's the gold is like in the treasure trove that you guys divided up. So yes, you've gotten gold
Which-
recently, and you've
Am I
also
mistaken? Do we get like an exact number for that?
I don't think
Of how much we're getting, at least.
that was down to how
I
much.
think we got
you-
half, right?
Yeah, you agreed to half and half, so that's 5K for your crew.
Okay.
Divided, 5K for like the four of you divided how you like. We assume that everyone else has been compensated via other means.
Okay, so 5K to the party.
Mm-hmm.
Plus one red jewel skull?
Correct.
That was
Okay.
300, yeah. That's 10 toes.
Okay, so you're writing this down or am I writing this down?
I'm writing this down in the party in the foundry chat for now, and then I'll transfer it over later.
Alright.
Who gets the skull?
Endo gets a skull.
Does it not go into the pile of divided gold?
No, it's just a paperweight.
Did we
I mean,
actually
that's how we're
like
handling all the
identify
other
it?
loots.
Did we actually identify it?
I did.
Identify as an identify spell? No.
Well, anyways, yeah, I think it's safe to say that we should have 100 gold on us.
Yeah.
We can figure out how to like actually divvy up the price later, but like everyone's cool with donating some gold to the project,
Yeah.
or we could take it out of the party fund. We can figure it out later.
I don't mind just spending. What is it? Just it's 100 gold, right? Right.
It's 100 gold total. So
Yeah.
something going on in your background?
Mm,
Darren, I hear something taking off.
It's just a car.
Oh, okay. All right. I was just like, you started to be occluded by it, and I was like, what's going on? Okay. So you gather the gold, and the Machine of No Name boop boop is trotted out, and the back contains, of course, an ice forge. Zion gets to work. Give me a tinker's with Dex, my good Zion.
Guidance if you want it.
Sure. I'll add it.
Okay. You study all of the lines and Iskadonian work and the nature of the Dogorian craft, and you ponder it in the blood magics and all that good jazz.
How long
Eventually,
does it take to make a uncommon magical item?
that's a good question. You have the means to do so, and if so, what allows you to do so? And I think that usually tells you as an artificer, right?
It takes me a quarter of the normal time.
Oh god, there's a lot of rules for this in Raw that I have never once used in my life. If we want to start using them now, we can. But we'll ask, what do you want to make? Is perhaps the easier question here.
I just want to make like I guess a chalice is just a cup, right?
Yeah, just a fancy
I'll
cup.
make a alchemy jug.
Do you want to make it an alchemy jug, or
Yes, that looks like a chalice. So there's some magical properties. Maybe it'll help in deceiving.
Can you make the the magic jug instead of doing water, acid, and stuff? It just spews out poison.
all right?
Or
I have a
poison,
question.
sorry, blood.
I have a question. Do you think that Zion right now has an item or like a piece of monster loot that it could transmute into the like core of the jug?
What's the core again?
Like what? Like, is there anything that feels related to you?
I also like to just imagine instead of like Zion wanting it for like more realism, Zion's just like, look, I may as well actually make this have a function. Like kill two birds with one stone. If we do get the chalice back, I now have an alchemical jug.
Yeah, exactly. I do have plenty of monster parts.
Do any of them speak to you in this particular instance? Or any of them saying, use me? Perhaps.
Son, if you're hearing voices in your head, please tell us. I'm just saying. If anything is talking to you like that, maybe, just maybe, it might be a good idea to tell us. I'm just saying. You know?
Mm. I think. What was the salt gorgon?
The Salt Gorgon was one of the things that you fought on like the evil Hag Island.
That was another one of the sessions I missed.
Yeah, the Salt Gorgon, and they were doing crazy Salt Gorgon shit, and they were turning people to... No, that was an island. That was an island all its own, and they were like moving between the salt walls and doing shit in the water. Yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the basalt one.
I would say that there's transmutation water aspects there. Yeah, you have part of the
I
Salt
do
Gorgon.
have the heart of the salt gorgon.
I would let you spend half the Salt Gorgon's heart on making this chalice an alchemy jug.
Right?
And it won't take any
Want
longer.
that.
So yeah, you throw that in there, you do the math, do the magic runes. You have a chalice that looks exactly like that chalice, except it functions as an alchemy jug. The magic item.
Can it produce blood instead of water?
Ooh, fancy. I mean, like, you can probably make, like, cherry juice, which was close, right?
But I don't
All
like
right.
cherries.
I have the chalice.
In
And
quotes.
yeah, she's surprised, and Tyler's like, "Wow, it really looks a lot like it." And she says, "All right, I'll be able to cast the energy from the real chalice to it and keep it concealed. I don't think it'll necessarily stand up under close scrutiny, but from a distance, I don't think they'll be able to tell." And I mean you could almost fool me with that one if it weren't for the fact that I'm, attuned to the real one.
Dang,
Does the
Blind, good
chalice have to
job.
be on this plane for you to do that?
Um, yes, if it's not on this plane, I won't have the connection necessary to cast its power to something else.
Do you have a bag of holding or something that you can put it into like another dimension quickly?
Um, can't say I do.
I'll let you have my bag of holding when we go. I'm just a little concerned if she finds out where the real one is, or maybe there's just a reaction upon us walking too close to the heart.
True, although 2 points here. Point the first, what if she realizes what we've done and steals the bag? Point the second, I won't be able to gain the benefits of the chalice while it's in the bag. So I could be slightly weaker and then still get it stolen from me, or be slightly stronger and slightly more likely to beat off the person trying to steal it from me. From my perspective,
It's
I'd rather have it, but I will go along with this plan if you think it's wisest.
Why don't we
well,
just
you will
have you?
have.
Why don't we
Sorry,
just
Don.
have you wait outside?
Sure, but I'll still need to be within about 30 to 60 feet to be able to cast the energy.
Hmm.
It's just for assurance. You can choose to put it in there or not. You can choose to take it back out.
All right, well,
Um,
I'll keep it in mind as a tactic then.
but it should be that if something goes wrong, I think the first step is to try to separate the heart and the chalice as quickly as possible.
She nods and says, I agree. We don't want them interacting in any more strange ways.
Even if it means you leaving the fight prematurely, I think it would be for the best.
She nods and says, I won't jeopardize the mission for everyone.
Well, any more prep we want to do today? Because we're definitely not attacking tonight. Because I'm still absolutely spent on spells. Just saying.
Yeah, this is right after we fucking fought Grace. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything.
All right, John Tyler says that she'll have her crew ready to, fight the tieflings broadly. And ideally, when they come out, they'll be busy with the army you have behind you.
Oh, wait, I want to. I need to switch out. Because I gave Keiko my katana. I need to give her a different katana. I forgot I had two. That one is a
You did?
keepsake because this one I promise to keep safe. This is a +1 katana that I just have in my inventory. So I like to swap with her.
I guess one more thing. Like I presume Treadfar was there after commune. Do they have like any idea how the progenitor might play a part in all of this?
You asking Treadfar?
Yeah, knowing that like apparently he might be part of the Harpies plans, unbeknownst to them.
Treadfar says, well, if I were to put myself in my sire's shoes, he's probably trying to cause a new birth of the creature and then eat it to absorb its power. And then use that to dominate however much of the world he feels like at the moment. Would be my guess.
That can happen.
That sounds very concerning.
Well, that's just sort of what he tends to try and do.
Oh, it's a pattern. Gotcha. I
Wait,
wasn't aware that was
Dreadfar.
something they could do.
Dreadfar. Could you eat it for its power?
Redfar kind of looks a little shaken and says, I mean, I haven't thought of doing that, but I mean, I'm an actual person with a fairly normal metabolism. I'm not a big incorporeal demon that, I mean, they rub their forehead and say, I mean, I guess it's not impossible on some level, but I don't want to. I mean, the power we're talking
I'm sure
about.
Zion just said it just because it's curious, not because it wants you to do it.
Well, I mean, it's interesting to think about the implications, though. After all, if that's really my father's plan, who's to say that's not also the Harpy's plan? What if she doesn't think she can control it at all? What if she wants to become something more than a Sand Harpy? If she uses the heart, if she gives the heart to it, and then consumes it, has she become even greater?
Can harpies do that?
No, but, I mean, we're in uncharted territory. If you ask the average scholar whether or not you could revive this using such a method, they would probably say no, or only theoretically. We're at the upper bounds of what magic can achieve at this point, Dento. We're beyond records and history and into the theoretical speculation. Precedent is only so relevant for people of such power. We enter now the subject of legends and myths.
So, I guess on that note, is there any chance that that he's going to come after you during all of this?
Well, there's always that risk, I'm afraid, but considering you destroyed his temple and have been disjuncting his influence over the island, I think he's in a worse position to do it than normal, but Bedfar kind of looks around and says, I mean, I've been worried for a while, but we're almost at the end here.
Zion, did you finish everything in the temples?
What do you mean?
Just whatever you were doing in all of the ruins?
Oh, not yet.
There are 2 you haven't been to?
I think 2 or 3.
Yeah, because what I recall is you've definitely been to the far western one. You've definitely been to the northeastern peninsula one. I believe they've let you inside their own.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't been to this one where the shinobi was. Have you been to the one that Seku was hanging out at?
No.
Have you been to the
Yeah.
one by the ancient docks that have broken off?
I remember going to one that was
You
in
you
this
went to
area.
this one. You went to this island.
Yeah,
one
okay, yeah.
with the
And
whole
not
party.
this one.
Okay, so there's 3 left.
Maybe we should spend at least part of today doing that.
I'm down for that.
Okay.
Okay. So do you want to go to the one where Seku was?
That is the closest one, isn't it?
Um.
Oh
if we-
wait, I think
as
we
the
did
as
go
the
to this one.
you got really close and saw the shinobi picking people off, but you didn't go inside.
I thought we did because um we met with Tyler around here, right?
No, you
Or
met
was
with
that
you
somewhere
you
else?
you met with Tyler on this northern shore, and then afterwards you walked
yeah,
over
yeah.
here to this one.
Okay, yeah. All right.
So yeah, does the party want to go over here or over here? And I mean, it's kind of a really close 100-foot difference. Shin, you could call them both 1.2k feet, but this one is mostly across fairly open terrain, whereas this one hugs the mountain and goes through jungle.
Lonnie has one more cast of conjure woodland beings. I think Lonnie would just send the pixies with them. Just tell the pixies to like follow their orders, and Lonnie is just gonna go back to reading the book while they go do this stuff, unless they really think that Lonnie is needed for this.
I would say you know that one of the
Well-
villages was a little bit of an adventure, and one of them wasn't much of one. So it's possible that things could go on. It takes some cough game time, just so you're aware.
If you're asking like if I'm okay with like just watching for that time, I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
If the party wants me to go, I can go, but I think Lonnie would rather try to parse through the book for any more clues.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just gonna be easier to
Uh,
do while stationary.
I don't know the relevant danger in the area, so I don't know. We can stay. I don't have any problem with that.
All right. So, ba-doop, ba-doop, ba-doop. You guys head over to this ruin. Right? Or am I putting words in your mouth?
Can we do a short rest first?
Sure. It's around noon now. And, oh shit, did I put an older version of Lonnie? Yes, I did. Oh my god, that Lonnie has 9 HP.
Oh, I guess the other thing is Lonnie has detect good and evil that could help. But yeah, Lonnie would still rather spend her time reading unless like y'all really want to join her to join.
So it
Yeah,
sounds
I don't
like
have
you
I don't have a problem with you staying.
chill and read. You arrive at the place. You do occasionally see harpy patrols like just over the way, but they don't seem to be coming close. There's a lot of ships and people here, obviously. So you come to a cliffside villa lodge, and Cabancho is coming, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So you approach a large like cliffside kind of village. There is a big cliffy drop, and you hear the whoosh of the wind near you, and you feel a not a dark presence, but a light presence here. And there is sort of like a raised platform where you saw Seku doing the religious stuff with his guys. And there is a primary cluster of what appear to be extant structures around here, divided into two major zones. The doors seem to be internal, facing one another.
Let's see. Last time Zion and I went to one of these things, they did have traps. Don't know about the other ones y'all went to, but I know the ones Zion and I went to had traps.
You do see the general area has been traipsed about enough that pirates probably would have set off the traps, but this alley does seem somewhat overgrown by vine and such and untraveled. And this is sort of like a wide open, like greenery area with some benches that people were doing the stuff in.
Do you have any idea where it goes, Zion?
Not particularly, but I'm sure most of the designs are the same. Just got to head to the relatively center
Important.
of the ruin.
Okay. I guess we'll head towards that.
Mm-hmm. So you head towards the relative center of the ruin. And yeah, I mean, it's these two structures would definitely be towards the center.
You said all this was basically like just greenery and foliage. That's just overgrown stuff.
Yep.
Does it look like it's like that stuff I've seen before, where it's like a predator plant kind of deal?
It looks like it might be, yeah.
I poke the foliage and the overgrown stuff with a stick.
Alright, there is slight reaction. You think that there might be something going on there? Almost like you see, in fact, there's like insects and stuff that have definitely been consumed in there. And being
Oh yeah, that's
consumed.
dangerous. That's dangerous plants right there. You probably don't want to go in there. Unless you want to get eaten.
What are you talking about? How's a
Um,
plant gonna eat you?
What do you mean how's a plant gonna eat me? We went to the same forest, I grew up in a magical forest where plants actively ate other things, right?
No, I just thought all the
Oh.
creatures there were dangerous.
And the plants too, what the man. You don't pay attention to nothing. Got all the danger stuff that was in there. Anyways, yeah,
I mean, we
think
didn't
there's
meet any of them when we went there once.
I'm pretty sure we did. Either way, I'm pretty sure this is a bunch of dangerous plants here. I don't know how you want to get through it. We could burn it all, but I don't know. Do these buildings look flammable? I'm not quite sure how like connected these buildings are.
These are very stone buildings dug into the earth. Definitely not flammable.
Oh, so we could probably burn all this stuff in. It'll probably be okay. I'm just not quite sure how far it would burn. Like, is any of the plants like growing inside the building too?
Not this predator plant, but there is growth that connects it if you start a quick fire that spread fast. This door is firmly shut, but the southern one is wide open.
Okay.
Are these alive? Like, are these plants alive?
Yeah, this
All
this,
plants are. All
this stuff
plants
is-
are alive.
I
What are you
mean,
talking about.
No, plants can be dead
the
on the
plant
ground.
is actively moving and like responding to stimuli.
So, I mean, I don't know how you plan on burning it, but you have to get a really hot fire going to burn living plants. If it's dead and dried on the ground, that's a different story.
I have oil. Pretty sure that'll be enough, right?
It is funny to me how much in nature stuff is going on as soon as Lonnie's gone.
Unless you tell me that's not enough, in which case, okay. I mean, yeah, I'm sure we can come up with something else.
I mean, I don't know.
The vine sways before you.
Sure, it'll be enough, right?
Yeah, I don't see why
Plants?
not. Yeah, it's a plant. Plants catch on fire all the time, right? Yeah, it'll probably be fine.
Okay,
I'm
so
just worried about if anything lights up in the other building.
Why don't we try to cut our way through?
Tento gonna decide. You first.
all right. You want to turn your blades upon the plant? Ching. You pull them from their scabbard. Give me an attack.
Do I have martial proficiency? I don't think I do. No, it says weapons martial. I'm gonna use the Shirokage axe.
All right. The silvering gray metal is particularly noteworthy.
I have no clue if this is set up correctly.
You hack through it, the material striking at all magic and flesh alike, and with a lightweight yet hard-hitting impact. Give me a survival check as you manage to hack your way like halfway through. You have a good idea of where the plant continues to linger and where individual nodes snake out to potentially grab at you. You manage to hack your way cleanly about this deep before you lose your confidence that you've been able to truly deal with the vine, but that's enough to easily get at the doors. You see to the south that there is ancient pottery and wood in the southern chamber.
All right, Jojo, you were saying?
Good job. I don't know what.
I don't know why you were so afraid of just hacking at it. I'm gonna try
I
to
just
keep
didn't want to deal with it.
I'm gonna try to keep these vines at bay. You guys scoot in. Or sorry, when I say
So-
into the room.
The northern door.
I wanted to ask.
The northern door seems to be like a big stone with a circle, a stone circle set apart from it, clearly individually movable in its center, and it has 3 like handholds question mark that one could like reach in and like push around, but it has no clear lock mechanism one can interface with. I would give Zion a history check to consider the nature of the door.
The room to the south.
Wide open. It is full of old, overgrown wood and tables. Zion, you've never read about this sort of a door.
It's just a door.
It's just a door.
Just push it hard
It's just
enough.
a door, guys. Just push it.
You could step into the
Might
room to
be
the
a
south and
pull,
search
it
around.
might be a push. Who knows?
Tentos, can I look at the weird door and be like, is this a lock or is this not a lock? What is this thing?
Roll me to investigate if you would like to consider the door on its own merits. You think
It's
maybe
a
if you
door!
put your hands in 2 of them and twist real hard, you get it to rotate? Maybe that opens something.
We can kill a
Is it-
kraken, but we can't figure out a door.
Does it? Well, no, it's not.
How about you
It's not
guys
that it's not.
explore
It's not
the
that
room
it's
to the
not a
south?
door.
And maybe there's a button or a key or something.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is there? You said there was pottery and what else in here?
Pottery, wood, overgrown stuff. As you turn the place out, it looks like this was maybe once an inhabited area, and by quite a few people. You start to find dwarf skeletons and also other species. And it looks like there was a bit of a fight here. Some of these things were broken, and you see ancient crossbow bolt heads and such in the things. Looks like people have been bashed, you know, broken skeletons and the like, axe heads left around. It's a bit of a gruesome scene. You find at its center a blossoming scarlet flower. You could roll me a nature or survival to recognize it. Aside from that,
Where's Lonnie? Where's
there's
Lonnie
a
when you need her?
aside from that, there's a single stone tablet which seems to record relevant information. Zion. This is the Scarlet. The Scarlet Reminder. This flower grows where death has flown freely, and the spirit's rage simmers and dissipates into the ground rather than forming undead spirits. It is used in some necromancy rituals and can be used to force the dead to rise. And in addition to that, a search of the room turns up little of value other than broken old weapons and tools and bedding, but you do find something of note on one of the dwarf skeletons wearing rusty old chainmail. You find a dwarvish necklace with a design identical to the symbol on the door to the north. The topmost circle is filled with a white stone, and the bottom two are filled with black stones.
Do you think that unlocks the door?
It looks too small to think of the size of like a quern or like a wheel that you'd like crush grain with. That's the size of the wheel in the door. Like that shit's like as wide as a torso at least. This is like a little like amulet. So you don't think you can like you could try and go tink it up against it. The soul stone tablet that Zion can turn over has a simple recording indicating we have no hope of resupply, and we are running out of options. I have talked to the men, and we have agreed. We will deny the grubbing hands of our former servants their prize, even unto death.
What a bunch of
I have
bitches.
sealed the door with the traditional combination. It does not matter. Even if they guess it right, the wards will surely kill them all after they get us.
Well,
Oh, okay, well, that's booby trapped. That's cool to know. Well, at least we know this. At least we know it's a booby trap. Well, we can still open it though. What is the traditional combination?
Well, let me investigate to think about that statement.
I pull up my pipe.
So the two of you both come to the conclusion, Zion slightly faster than Tento, that these stones reflect a pattern. And if you think about it, there's more shadow on a stone that's been pushed in, isn't there? It actually looks like maybe if you pushed in two of the three stone holes, like handholds, maybe the third at the top would pop out.
Would you like to test that theory, Zion?
why not?
Okay,
Out
now
of curiosity,
let's
Zion,
just.
do you know Mage Hand?
Yes.
All right. I say we use that instead. Tento, scoot over.
I mean, we can occupy the same space. I don't know why you want me to scoot over.
Okay, so I'm gonna be standing on top of you then. But
Yeah,
where
so
else are
when
you gonna?
something explodes, it's your body hits it. Like I can use your body to shield myself. Yeah, that's fine.
I don't know what to tell you, but there's not a lot of protection from my legs. My legs are not that thick.
No, I'll be on your back. That's the
Okay,
thing.
I
I'll be
said I
on
was
your
gonna be on top
thorax.
of you. Okay.
Oh, well, then I'll get on top of you. I'll get on your thorax and make sure to use you as a human shield.
Alright. I will cast
Okay, what's going on?
Mage Hand.
I'm also gonna cast Mage Hand.
All right, and the two of you use your mage hands. A ghostly spider and a ghostly robot hand push in, click. The stones roll apart. The hallway slides open into view. You see that along the walls is very little, in fact, no growth has come in here to an almost suspicious degree. You do note that there are extensive runes carved into either wall.
Do you think those are the wars they were talking about?
I'm gonna send my Mage Hand in, and like it's gonna be spider crawling across the floor, pushing any buttons it can find.
You probe the floor. There doesn't seem to
How
be
does that
a
work?
pressure plate or anything similar. Until you get to about here.
I don't know if I can go that far.
How far can you go? 30 feet, right?
30 feet.
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
can go just there.
You can go exactly that far in one turn. Yeah. You go there and you press, and how much force can you apply? 10 pounds?
Or 10 pounds. Right.
You feel like there's a bit of give, but like you're not putting enough pressure on the pressure plate with 10 pounds to make it happen.
What if there are two hands doing it?
That would be 20 pounds.
We're getting somewhere.
Yeah, so there's a pressure plate in the middle. Give me, Zion, do you think Rivara's staff could possibly beam into the mage hand and augment the force?
Never thought to use it like that.
All right, Tento, go jump on over there. Oh, wait, no, sorry. Zion's trying something.
Yeah, so you... And it puts down force, and it winds up at some point clicking. When it clicks, this door slams shut.
Do we hear anything else?
No, you just hear the door slamming shut.
What happened to the mage hands when you lose sight of them?
I think you can still move them.
To my knowledge, they don't require line of sight.
Okay.
But they don't have inherent sight either, so it's like your hand
Correct.
is somewhere you can't see.
Can you
Also correct.
open the door from the inside of the hands? I don't know. Can you?
They have never seen what the inside of the door looks like, so they would
Can
have
you
to.
push that plate again?
Yeah, I mean, we could personally press it. Anyone got like a 10-foot pole or something?
No, we just recast Mage Hand.
Yeah, I think Mage Hand's a cantrip. I think they
Oh.
can just. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
Yeah. The
Mage
same
Hand was a
process will
cantrip.
open the door right back up.
All right, for science, let's push that button again.
I'm imagining Mage Hand needing line of sight, and the poor arcane tricksters with the invisible Mage Hand are just fucked.
Yes.
I mean, I'm
Yeah,
assuming you can
that
tell
can-
where, like, you have a sense of where it is,
You feel.
or
it.
yeah, or you're just completely fucked. Rules is written.
Where do
If-
you?
If you have a sense of where it is, then you don't need line of sight now, do you?
Alright. Well, Zion's gonna start walking in.
All right. Well, I'll be.
All right, Zion.
I guess.
There's
Bancho
like
can use
a-
stay here. Oh God.
I'll
There's
stay
like
out
a
here.
faint ding of the runes around activating, but they don't go off yet. You see that they're primed, but they're not doing anything.
I guess start screaming if you want me to open the door.
You hear through the door? It's a pretty thick
Mhm.
door.
Alright, so Zion, you
Do
proceed to the
these?
So they're on both walls.
Yeah, they're like
Is
floor to
From
ceiling,
the-
both walls pointing in.
Okay.
I guess Zion, you could leave a mage hand behind and just squeeze my hand if you need me to.
You gotta make sure it's 10 pounds of pressure exactly. If it's any less, I ain't doing shit.
Yeah,
So you
Zion,
can see your hand again. So
what's the play here?
So
do these runes look dangerous at all?
do I
Um,
recognize any of the runes?
I would say the only one that you recognize off top is one that seems to evoke lightning. It's not presently receiving power.
I'll take another step.
Nothing happens. They remain primed, but they're not powering up any of the things they're designed to do yet. Just faint little glows of power at the edges.
Hmm.
So Tento, you step in, right?
Yeah.
The moment Tento comes in, they go live. Both of you make Constitution saves.
Not gonna lie, it's kind of nice just sitting back and watching y'all get fucked.
Damn.
You both suffer 16 lightning damage. Neither of you pass the save.
I take half.
Ooh, you take it out. And yeah, you
Ow.
can tell that like it activated the moment Tento entered. The lightning continues to dance around. By the way, what are you guys doing as this happens? All right,
I step out.
when Tento leaves, it goes back to being primed. Although it is like halfway ready to shoot lightning again, like it's really aware, probably because it was recently used.
Maybe this is the actual racist dungeon.
Half of
Might
it.
I guess.
You know, there's nothing alive in here, Zion. Even though there's enough crevices that theoretically something could have, like, you know, very small or viney or something gotten in here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, my turn. I'm not alive.
Wait.
No, you finally admitted it. He finally admitted it, guys.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm gonna take
Who said
another
what?
step.
Yep, Zion, nothing else happens. There's no further firing of it. And as you continue to move and a moment passes, it goes from the halfway armed state to just at the edges.
That means Zion's not really alive.
It doesn't see me as alive.
Not traditionally.
I'm gonna try to.
You're always
skirt
alive in my
around
heart,
the
Zion.
Yeah,
Pressure plate.
yeah, with enough time, you can just do it. You see there's another locked door up ahead. It looks more like a traditional door with a large central dwarvish lock. Do you want to step to the right or the left?
I'll step to the right.
Sure. You guys see that Zion has disappeared around the corner. Bento, Kabancha, you up to anything?
Nope. I am just ready to push buttons and wait for Zion to run back.
All right,
Yeah,
so,
I'm sort of just waiting
all right,
to
so
see.
Zion, there's like a little like alcove around here. Do you come check out what this room has?
Yeah.
All right. So there's tools all over the walls, various devices and spanners, notches, and twists. There's a in all, in terms of the useful stuff, there's more or less a +1 dwarvish tinkerer's tools lying around here. And you do note there is a
Zion's dream.
stone etched schematic on one wall, and it seems like it's been marked with the dwarvish word for like attention. And it seems to be some sort of like eldritch bug zapper of some kind.
Eldritch bug sapper sounds devastating, but also very funny.
That would kill Cabancho.
Right?
Challenge accepted.
Amazing.
Oh yeah, wait, I have a
Um,
question for Kabacho while Zion's poking around.
Eh?
So like, Since you've
Turn
like
around to the other side. and
died
see what's
multiple
over there.
times, do you just like, and you're a warlock, do you just like redo the contract with your patron god, or like does it
You come to the other
get on
side.
pause?
You find a small office with a book of pressed brass mold, clearly designed to be copied and used for smelting. They are strange tools like the ones from the workshop. There is also a dusty diary with a heavy steel clasp and thick red-dyed leather.
I'm gonna open it up and see what's in the diary.
Okay. So, the diary talks about the life of a runic engineer, and it runs up until about, they say they're going to go see a party. They're going to go to a big party that's happening at the palace, and they're very excited because they never get to go enjoy the fine stuff at the palace. And you get the sense that, you know, probably had a bad time. They do say, however, I hate this Northern Cliff assignment. We really have to be diligent about keeping up the zappers. Otherwise, we're gonna have an issue. I cleared out another set of ethereal larvae the other day. I swear, these things are persistent.
Ooh. So, okay. Zappers are for
Zappers are for the
Ethereal-
bugs.
ethereal bugs.
Hmm.
Not Cabancho yet.
So there's a large metal door here. It has a central dwarvish lock in it. You could try a variety of things, including using a key that might explode on you. But you could also just traditionally pick the lock.
I could try picking a lock, yeah.
Alright, give it to me. Okay. Think. It's a very complicated dwarvish lock, but you are a very complicated warforged. So, you see that there are two like glowing pits with all sorts of like rune stuff in them. It looks like where they're storing all of the stuff that you had to deal with last time in this location. And there's some levers on the wall that you should be able to deal with. However, you do note that the levers on the wall also seem like they would let you control the defense system.
Hmm.
So you would probably be able to, like, you know, turn it off. You also note that there's one of those things described in the wall etching here. It's like a big zapping device. It's primed to go if something gets too close. But the one over here has broken down.
Okay. Let me just go and try to turn off.
Oh, ooh. All right, yeah. Even the corner lights go off on these runes, and it seems pretty clear to you that they're disarmed.
I'll shout back. I think you're good to come in.
Kendall steps in. Hello?
I'll switch it back. I'm just kidding.
Gotcha,
As-
bitch!
Just kidding. I'm
Zion-
waiting for Cabancho.
Zion,
Ah,
you hear
clever.
a crawling sound to your west,
Huh.
and you see that you have a friend.
You're like, huh?
There is a large bug with a radiant sort of shell that looks at you with very hungry eyes towards where your core is. And you see that there's, like, Eichstein dust on its mouth, and, like, the runes over there has been slightly, like, chewed on.
Brooms?
Rune.
Runes, okay. I thought I said brooms for a second. I was like,
I
brooms?
got a little friend in here. You guys might want to hurry before I turn this back on.
Is it a
Yeah,
friendly
so-
friend?
It's
Zion just
looking
turns
at
on
me
right
kind
there.
of hungry.
Well, Zion, you are quite a snack.
I'm gonna turn it back.
Oh my god.
No one
Deserved.
gets good humor nowadays.
So,
I am hurt.
yes, physically. Um,
Sorry.
it's all good. This this fella here, this is somewhat large. There's something familiar about it, Zion, that you can't quite place. Like maybe it's been somewhere you've been recently. Hard to say.
Have I
Holy
seen
shit,
it
that
before?
Zion, that's not small at all. That's a huge fucking bug. What do you mean small?
Yeah, so
Little-
this thing, as like Tender's coming up, you're looking at it. You don't. I mean, it's coming for you if you don't go for it. Zion is more or less the situation.
Yeah. I'll get in some defensive postures.
All right. You see it coming. It sees you. This is a matter for initiative order. And you could roll me an int save to think about what's familiar, what's tugging at the edge of your mind. With an 11, you don't recall. All right, Zion, you get to go first. All right, Kabancho initiative has just been rolled. There's a beetle. All right, what are you gonna do?
Sorry, I did not mean to speak out there. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and punch it real quick. Just
All right, you crack its defenses. Give me the damage. Seems a bit miffed.
and another one.
Miss. You dink off of the armor with a 14.
All right. Yeah, that's my turn.
Kabancho. Yeah, something's going on down this hallway. What do you do?
I know I left right before Zion said like come inside. Would I be inside already, or would I be where I'm at?
I'd let you have come inside and be behind. Like, I will let you be on this side of the pressure plate. I'll let you be right here.
Running. What's the purple here?
So these are like pits that go like 10 feet down and have rune shit all over the walls. You see, this one is particularly chewed up, and this one isn't. This one has a zapping device near the top that zaps things that get near it, and this one had one, but it clearly broke down at some point in the past. Seems very historical that it happened.
Can I try to make this jump?
Yeah. As you do, you see there's like cracked open larvae shit that looks like an egg, like an insect would spawn out of it down there.
I tell everyone there's a lot more of these things down there.
Well, you don't see them though.
I was like, I see eggs though. Well, I'm assume there's more.
You see a cracked open larvae that would be large enough for like a small version of this. But you do feel something weird while you're here.
Your cousins.
So
So
more like nephews. Spider's cut.
you attack with advantage. Give me the damage.
And because the first turn of action, first turn of combat.
Oh yeah, you go crazy. Sorry, an anime moment happened. You leap over. You land on the wall. Actually, whip out Spider's cut, shing, 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 and just deliver 2 out of 3 hits. All right, damage twice. First 2. Oop. Oop. It's bloodied. It's not happy. Tento.
I'm just like, are we taking? I'm guessing we're killing this thing. So. Oh.
I mean, it attacked Zion, didn't it? Also, real quick, I'm also gonna use favorite mode.
Did it attack Zion? I don't know.
Oh, wait, never mind. Oh no, I can use it. Yeah.
Technically, it hasn't attacked.
Oh, I
It's
thought it
just
did.
licking its lips.
Wait, why are you hurt then?
Licking its lips because we
Cause
because
The
we were
lightning in
came
the
out of
hallway.
fight.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, I forgot.
Says the guy who didn't get zapped.
Kabancho.
One
Oh,
guy
yeah,
not hit
there's a
by
reason
lightning
why I
trap.
forgot.
Oh, I forgot there was a lightning trap.
I mean, I assume Zion got hurt and then have come across and started wailing at it. But you did mention that I feel weird here. Can I jump back over, kick off the wall and jump back over with the last movement?
If you're using acrobatics, check.
You know, I'm good at these, right?
You're acrobatic.
Yeah, you leap
You can
across,
stick
no
to-
problem.
I
You can
saw
stick
that
to
one.
You
I
still,
saw
you
that
still
one.
feel equally weird over here, though.
Okay.
You like stick on walls. How would you be bad at acrobatics? That would make no sense, right?
Because acrobatic
Like-
isn't how good you stick on
No, I'm,
walls, how
I'm
you
saying
jump.
like in.
Something feels weird
Yeah.
though. You all like taste lead in your mouths, and you feel like a pit in your stomachs. Less prominent to Zion. Oh, there was a familiar feeling to Zion. Tento, what do you do?
He sled in my mouth.
Yeah.
Is there? Do I know if there's any particular reason why I would just randomly taste lead in my mouth in a room like this, or any reason
Roll me Arcana.
why I would randomly taste lead? Because that can't be common.
Give me Arcana.
Used to be common back then, but we didn't know any better back then.
Tento, you do remember reading once in one of your manuals about alchemical stuff that contact with the ethereal plane tends to have strange impacts on organics because it's a halfway point between areas, and it tends to have a strange impact upon the soul. And the soul is usually fine, but the body can frequently be really prolonged or powerful exposure made to feel strange. Tasting heavy metals, weirdness in the organs like pits in your stomach, or like tightness in lungs. Those sorts of things can grow common with heavy exposure. Other than that, I mean, this place could be full of like poisonous old air or something, but you don't have the other signs of that.
Zion, what the fuck is this thing?
I read about some ethereal larvae bug thing.
Well, that explains the taste. It's very close to ethereal, so we should probably not be here for that much longer. So let's get rid of this and leave. Tento's gonna. Sorry, I have to go through my buttons. There we go. Wait, do I get advantage? No, I don't.
You're not flanking. Let's see which one.
Damn
we
it!
roll
My first roll was fucking 15. My second roll was 30.
You're
was
still hit.
20.
Still hit.
I still hit, but
Yeah,
like it's
allies in
not.
range.
Yeah, it's not a critical hit though. And then sneak attack.
Okay.
33.
It looks like you're about to kill it, and it uses a reaction to harden its shell.
I'ma stab it. Where is offhand?
You barely
17 hit?
miss breaking the AC.
Okay.
It phases into the border ethereal. Ion. You know that this place can be attuned properly fairly simply with the controls in front of you right now. And if you don't want to use it for the purposes that the dwarves did, this isn't going to be a problem soon, but would be a problem eventually. You see there's a big zapper to your east that didn't seem to go near, and there's a broken zapper to the west. What do you do?
I guess I will attune it to the ethereal.
So you mean like you mean use etherealness on your own armor to go into the border ethereal?
No, use the lever
Alright, so
with the controls.
you want to try and like reconfigure this place to defend itself against the ethereal intrusion. It doesn't seem like that's a built-in functionality of this panel. You suspect that's probably why they built these zappers, because these zappers seem to attack most prominently anything approaching on the ethereal plane, because they like part of them exists in the ethereal plane. There's still the core of the destroyed device over here that you could repair if you wanted.
Yeah, sure, I'll head over there.
Alright, give me a quick Tinker's tools.
So where did the bug go?
Borderline ethereal.
What does that mean?
You get the zapper back up and running and then step away before it starts zapping. And yeah, with that, you have attuned everything you need to here.
Alright.
There's also sort of a fading away of that taste of lead as Zion clicks on the machine and it goes bzzz.
Oh! I think it's desyncing now. Cool.
Meanwhile, back on the farm, Casey, you are reading through the book all about life and also fun things like death and resurrection and life magic. As you
We're all very familiar with
Totally
that.
legal stuff.
and totally legal stuff. So as you make your way through the book, give me a religion to see how much of the religious perspective you're already familiar with as you get deeper.
Is this guidanceable or?
Yeah, I'd call it guidanceable.
You can do it, Foundry. Okay.
Good job. 24. Yeah, okay. So you're ripping through this thing. You're like, oh, I already know all about that. You notice a few interesting things about like healing magic and how the same principles can be used to hurt, but how this really just proves that it's a tap in on the fundamental forces of life, the deep level, and how all physical reality and spiritual reality mirror one another, and how they can be touched and ripped and stitched back together and warped. You begin to see certain things that make sense about Cabancho coming back, looking like he has like the fresh-born flesh of a young Anorak, but is like, you know, a full adult one after being totally bodily reborn. And you start to find other interesting tidbits as well. Phantasmal existences, exorcisms, possessions, liminal closenesses. You feel like there's a lot in this book that's being touched on. And you're already familiar with the broad scope, so you're able to get the useful information out quickly. As you progress... Sorry, yeah.
Quick thing. If we start getting to like the weirder shit, I guess, like, I guess the less commonly taught stuff, Lonnie's gonna start keeping. Let me just make sure I have this cantrip actually. Yeah, Lonnie's just gonna start putting resistance on herself because I just suddenly remembered that, like, hey, this book might drive some people mad.
Yeah, you managed to get through the early bits that don't have any madness stuff. threatening you. You do feel like this is a very good book to ruminate on, however, and perhaps if you spent an extended rest ruminating upon it, you might gain insights into healing magics. Meanwhile, you keep going. And yeah, as you get deeper, roll me an int save with the bonuses of resistance, which I think is advantage, right?
Oh man, if a cantrip could give you advantage, I believe it's just another D4.
Okay.
Int save. Oh boy. Is this magical?
No, it's not.
Okay. Int save. Eh.
You begin to see very promising possibilities. In fact, when you consider this book and what it means, you question the nature of life and death itself. You're taught that it is a natural cycle to die and live, and that there is a complete circuit of nature. However, you continue to be confronted with certain aspects of reality, like angels, vampires, other entities that don't really live and die in that way, and Barat, beings of pure spirit that have a reflection in the living world. If you could become a Barat, if you could expand to encompass the living world in its cycles, would it not be natural for you to live forever? Would it not be natural for any entity capable of spiritual transformation to engage in a cycle that would lead to it existing forever? Things would continue to live and die, but the person would live on. You begin to consider the Guardian Spirit tablets, and how this gives a spirit additional life beyond the soul. You consider how some capture the spirit and soul together. How the binding of the stone in limited access makes it feel culturally different, but functionally speaking, if you provided the energy to keep the Guardian Spirit awake and around 24/7, isn't it immortal? Isn't it undead? But it's also not dead. And you begin to get deeper and deeper into the weeds here, and you start to believe that you could put the spirits of the dead essentially into patches of grass. You are in fact convinced of this theory, and that it would allow someone to exist basically indefinitely as a spirit tied to the land, a miniature Barat. You're about halfway through the book. Do you keep reading, or do you try and go like find a dead person to turn into a garden?
I can turn people to grass.
The unfortunate thing is, I happen to have a Black Pearl quarterstaff with 60 souls.
Yeah? Holy shit.
You can turn to the grass.
I forgot about that stuff.
As did I. So you want to go experiment in a garden somewhere?
You make them into roses.
Come back to me on that. I need to think about how Lonnie thinks about souls.
Valid.
And the agency of souls.
Valid. The party has take this one off the list. There's 2 more to go. There's one here, and by the way, you would have interviewed the lieutenant, Lieutenant Cassandra, who would tell you, Zion, of a place close to the center of this ruin, which sounds like exactly what you're looking for. It sounds like they were able to reach it without a problem while they were holding out there. If you want to pop down to that one.
Oh, so like those eggs things aren't there anymore?
What happened to the bug?
Yeah.
The bug, do you go, like, peek into the border ethereal?
I will use... Let's see. My eyes.
Ooh.
See what it's doing.
Yes, the eyes of bitter truth. You sweep around and you see that there's like a family of these things that are kind of nearby in the border ethereal. And it's clear to you that they've actually dug a tunnel. Like, through the border ethereal from somewhere that's not really physically nearby. And they seem to have a vision that is like, they're fanning out and feeling around, and it's almost like they are, the zapper is is like damaging them when they get nearby, but they can't even understand where it is. And they're trying to map it out, and they don't seem like, if you or like a wizard went into the border ethereal, right, in this fight, you would have walked through a wall, dropped out, and come back around and start shooting down the hallway, right? The bug can't do that, because to the bug, the whole area has dropped off the map. These weave beetles seem to be attracted to very complicated woven magic. The woad, the natural magic moving around your world and coming up from the world, doesn't seem to interest it. The tightly connected, deliberate magics of the arcane seem to be really what's doing it for these weave beetles, attracting these weave beetles. And you see that this particular place has a high runic signature in the border ethereal, but it's somewhat masked by the zappers, and the closest place they can get to zaps them. So whenever they scout around, they get zapped. You feel like they're probably going to leave eventually because they can't get any food from here anymore.
Is the cocoon still down
Yeah,
in the pit?
Yeah, it seems like the cocoon. It seems like they gave birth in this existence. Like they laid the cocoon, and it like saturated in the glow of the energies, was born, and started to eat and got fat off of the, like there's like all sorts of torn up runic circuits, defaced covers, Teichstein and Teichstahl is like slurped up out of the stone with some stone taken with it. This place feasted on it.
Can I grab the cocoon?
Yes, you can. Boop. Item get.
Okay. Yeah. And there's not much else to loot. Can I get the, what was it, the blueprint?
The blueprint book? Yeah. The book of molds. Yeah.
And what was the thing on the wall?
There was like a large, like the zapper
stone etched schematic.
Yeah. If you wanted to, you could take a look at charcoal rubbing.
Yeah, I'll take that too.
Make a copy. You have it with you.
All right, crew.
All right. The group. Do you head to the southern one where you know the way and you know it's safe? Do you head to the eastern?
Yes.
All right. You move west of the Black Red Palace, and you are kind of like near the village. You go in. You find it. There's nothing worth looting left here, but there's also like you just boom, throw the levers. It's fine. It's done. As you are walking out, there are harpies circling around outside. Do you make a break for it?
So, what do we want to do? Guess it was only a matter of time before he started coming for us, right?
I mean, our best chance is probably running back into the woods.
All right. So you guys just want to run for the woods?
Let's get my running legs on. I'm for running into the woods. Because I'm guessing there's not a lot of woods for me to sneak in around here at the moment.
No.
Like where we are currently.
If everyone just wants to make a run for it, give me your choice of athletics or acrobatics.
Uah!
All right. All right. Oh. You're about to make it to a thicker portion of jungle, and Zion like trips on a rock and has to get itself back up, and then boop, boop, boop around. and you realize
So this is why you eat the rocks, so you can't trip on them.
you realize your tin can friend isn't going to move that fast. Unless you're willing to like abandon Zion as the harpies descend, screeching, you're going to have to fight with very little tree cover.
Can I change the situation if I cast Strider on Zion? Oh wait, no. Wait, is that the one I wanted to use?
I mean, you could
Yeah,
be
that's-
running up to cast it on him while the harpies descend, but like, you ain't got forever here. They're closing in. If you turn around for Zion, we go into the encounter.
Alright, I'm gonna help. Gotta help Zion.
Yeah. Why am I down a spell?
All right. You're gonna get the long strider cast off. You probably used one during the fight. And then
How come you don't use that on me?
Because you almost never need it, or you're too far away already.
But I always need 10 more feet of movement. That
Nah.
sounds amazing.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I like how you were just complaining about last week about my 25 feet of movement.
Yeah, I know.
I just want to be petty, and I respect that. It is funny.
all right. So, the harpies are closing in. They're 30 feet up, and this is the spread as combat begins.
How far away is like tree cover, like tree line cover?
As you see it. Have I not put you on the map?
We are on the map, but like we are like in an open field, a few trees. What I'm talking about is like the dense forested area where we can like
Around
quote unquote escape from.
like 150 feet away from here.
Okay. Can I change my plan about the long strider then?
Sure. What do you want to do instead?
I hilariously enough, I'm gonna cast it on Tento instead.
All right, Tento.
I was joking. Okay, word.
um,
What are we doing? Huh?
I'm gonna run by
I-
you, slap you on the back, give you a long strider, and keep running towards Zion, who's on the ground. And I'm gonna tell you to run.
I trust he won't get Zion
the
killed.
harpy prior flies down to 5 feet over the ground and pokes you with a glaive.
I'll take it.
Missing.
Not gonna
Tries
take it.
to.
The harpy sail cutter circles around and says, "I've got the thief." And also comes down to just 5 feet above. But so she makes a sail cutter scimitar attack. Makes a sail cutter scimitar attack. I think this is a hit and a miss, yeah?
Yep, a hit and a miss. The first one hit.
Slicing you for 9, and then screeching very loudly. Please make a strength saving throw, sir. You are forced back 5 feet.
I'll say, did I make it?
And also suffer. Oh, I guess I didn't set that up right. I learned a lot about Boundary Siege, but I guess not enough. You additionally suffer 7 thunder damage. Boom. Alright, Tento, it's your turn.
I'm not prone, right?
Nope, you didn't get knocked into a wall.
Alright, well, I'm gonna run 35. I'm gonna run towards tree line because I'm gonna listen to Bancho, so.
So 35
that
times
means
2?
I could. 35 times 3, because I'll use my other my action to also run.
Alright, we understand that you are, in fact,
I dipped!
45 feet from safety. Or I say safety.
Oh, from tree line.
Yeah. After which it will be much harder for enemies to track you from the air, although if they're presently ripping your face open, they'll probably keep, behind you doing that. This one flies down to 0 feet over the ground and tries to feed you a battle axe. Missing. This harpy songkeeper swings round with a lute in her hand and she unleashes Gale Song. All hostiles who can hear the song must pass a con save or stagger 5 feet back from the caster, forced to choose to either lose their main or bonus action. So.
Yeah.
Alright. Then you stagger back 5 feet, and
What? I'm in range?
Nah, he meant me.
no, you can't. Yeah, you
Okay.
are. You can hear from 100 feet away. It's a sound.
Oh,
The song.
okay, I didn't make a save yet, so sorry.
Oh, good. I mean, you're gonna be knocked towards where you want to go. You're only
Yeah.
40 feet away, but you're also a little fucked in the other regard, in the sense that and I'll put the cursing on you as well. You're gonna have a bad time. All right. Then as a bonus action, all right. And once more, Cabancho. Strength save. As a gale pulse shoots at you. Nothing bad happens. Boop. The RB Diver's turn. They dive on you, descending down to 5 feet, making the grab attack. Failing to grab you. Cabancho,
Dang,
it's your
nothing
turn.
has been able to hit you yet.
I am going to take 5-foot step and take whatever up.
They miss.
I'm gonna reach down to Zion, and I'm going to cast Dimension Door.
Boing.
And why did it automatically pull up damage?
That is very funny. So how far do you want to... How far can this take you?
Oh, it assumes that damage is proccing automatic. I am going to yeet Ian Zion some 200 feet, so 50 feet into the tree line.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully that's deep enough that they don't know where we went. And now Tento just has to outrun the harpies.
Zion, you're like pretty deeply into the tree line, and you're like 90 feet away from Tento, who you can see. Do you want to do anything on this particular turn other than just hoof it?
No, yeah. I'm just gonna run.
$30, 35, 40. Okay. Harpy Prior dashes to be within op range of you. Harpy Sail
Can they
Cutter.
move that far?
They can
Holy shit.
She can move 40 and then dash, yes.
Yeah, but I moved 100 some
105.
feet. Yeah, 105 feet.
Oh, you
Are
mean...
they already next to me?
Sorry, like, this is a problem with the whole, like, we're gonna run, like, the VTT, like, if I haven't made a huge
Yeah.
map, like,
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to keep track. But no, you make a good point.
Okay.
You can move 80 feet from where she's standing when she dashes, though, and I think that's within range.
Yeah, but it's not within op range, is it?
Extender's moving 105, Harpy's moving 80, so you're some 25-ish feet away, give or take.
Um,
I was wondering if that's within op range because I don't. That's insane. Reach on a weapon.
all right, so this Harpy Sailcutter casts Misty Step, gets 30 feet, has 50 speed 5 fly speed, dashes 130 feet, is cleared, reaches within op range of Tento, but is out of action economy. It is Tento's turn. Only one person is in op range of you. You must choose either a main or bonus action this turn. You cannot do both. You're 40 feet from the tree line. What do you do?
I'm 40 feet from the tree line. I can
Right.
only do one main action, bonus action,
One or the other.
one
More-
or the other.
Unless you
You
have
can
another...
move dash or move dash.
Yeah. Or I could disengage and move, but that doesn't really.
That
I would be 5
It
feet
leaves you
short.
5 feet from the tree line.
Wait. I think I have something to solve this problem. I'm
Grappling
not
hook?
joking. I might. No, that would require one of my actions. Oh, it's a bonus action. Dang it! No, wait. Yeah, it is bonus action. Dang it! I guess it would make no difference. I could just. I'll
You
take
could
the
just
op.
hoof it and just take the up.
Yeah, I'll just take the op. I was hoping I had something to make it so I didn't take the op, but I'll just take the op.
She swishes, hits air, and
Woo,
you
misses.
and the gang escape.
Thank God.
So you are
My
being...
next trick was to banish Tento as soon as he got
Alright.
out of line of sight.
Make it into the woods, but there are 2 groups of swarming harpies nearby, not counting the ones lurking at the eastern edge of the Black-Red Palace.
When we get a second, I'm going to cast Cure Wounds on Tento.
Now you can do that while you walk, I assume, or run rather. So yeah, you Tento heal up, and what does the group do now? Like, what do you do to? How do you navigate this jungle in ways such as to lose harpies who are used to operating here?
I'll say I'm not quite sure how to do that.
Nope, it was
I'm
just
up
making
for
it
any
harder for them.
ideas.
But
So I'm not quite sure what to do in this situation. We're kind of
just
Little
stealth navigate and
trapped.
attempt. We could go to the Obsidian the Obsidian Dwarf Palace. Because we got stuff there that would protect us from the harpy, but we would be trapped. So, I think we just simply just try to stealth and run
run where though.
back to the village.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. Okay, sorry Zion. The harpies made it a lot harder.
All right, everyone between like survival, athletics, acrobatics, perception, and insight, and investigate. Give me the skill you think that you will most contribute to getting the fuck away from the harpies.
Definitely
God
said
damn it.
perception, insight. What?
Like, I know, I'll hide in a tree. Let me just poke my head.
So you already did that. I guess I'll do perception. Yeah.
A wise path occurs to Zion to go through the woods, and Tento leads through the bramble. Despite Cabrancho's earlier Boris attempt at stealth, the harpies are eventually
Hey,
lost.
swinging through trees works. You guys can't swing as good as me.
Yeah. So you guys arrive back at the village, you know, like an hour and change after you left. It's like 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. Meanwhile, Lonnie, do you have a verdict thus far? If you'd be starting to experiment or perhaps holding off? Easy? Sorry, did Casey say they were gonna go AFK or?
Oh, sorry. I thought I was unmuted.
Ah.
Sorry, my mic usually shows like a light to show if I'm muted or not, and it's like not been working lately. But yeah, like souls don't really have a say on if they get sent. So like I guess souls don't get a lot of agency anyways. And surely like I can just send them if something goes wrong, right?
Right.
Wasn't this
So,
the plot to like Fullmetal Alchemist or something like that? Isn't that
Yeah,
like a
these were
bit?
souls that were being trapped in a wall, and then we used the staff to get them away from the hags. They weren't being used as a battery.
Now, Lonnie, as you're contemplating this, do you like leave the village a little and find like a patch of grass or?
Yeah, and it's like also like a bunch of like they were being used as a battery. I'm trying to give them a second chance at life. Surely it's different.
By using them as a different kind of battery.
What do you mean a different kind of battery? I don't know what you're talking
I
about.
wasn't
Oh,
trying
yeah,
to persuade.
my
I was
bad.
just trying to give context on like where they came from.
Okay.
Yeah, like this is better than where they were.
Uh-huh.
So
Yep.
Yeah,
Whatever you
I'm
say,
a-
Lonnie.
I mean, yeah, I would go a little bit away from the village.
Like more into the jungle or like along the cliffside?
Look away as I change your.
I guess a
Cousin
bit
soul
more
into-
into the jungle. There's more grass there.
All right. So, the three of you come upon Lonnie in the. You notice Lonnie at the edge of the jungle as you're like coming back towards town. Do you go like say hi or just head into town?
I mean, I'll go say hi.
All right, Lonnie,
no
you
reason
you
not
found a
to.
pretty nice like section of grass. This should do. There's a lot of like low level life here. How hard could it be?
How hard could it be?
Yeah, surely. I mean, like, did the book happen to detail how to like shift through a mass of souls to extract one by chance?
You have actually, yes, gotten enough insights that you're pretty sure you should be able to select one of the souls and, like, cast it out.
Yeah, let's try that.
Give me a religion check to prepare the ritual site.
Guidanceable or
Yeah.
religion.
You do a pretty good job. You've just finished, and now you're ready to... You've got it all set up, and you're pretty much just going to, like, throw it out of the staff, and you'll do something akin to casting, but also akin to the magic that you learned of when you were trained to be a druid. And you're going to use your divine ability to heal to, like, slowly work them into the fabric of the load. Meanwhile, Pari's walking up, and you see Lonnie just finished doing some sort of a ritual in a big square here. Looks kind of like the stuff that she does with dead people.
Just throw that. Hey, Lonnie, you what's all this?
I feel like Lonnie has gotten very good at tuning Tento out to focus.
Mm-hmm. So you just keep going.
Yeah. Like
Right.
Lonnie has had to have developed that skill, or else Lonnie wouldn't have gotten any shit done ever.
Yeah, so you come up, you ask, hey, what's going on? And Lonnie responds by taking the Black Pearl staff, shaking it once, and you see a blue face rip out of it, screaming in pain, and then grow still and placid, float, reach out their hands,
Jump scare.
and land gently on the patch of grass. They seem to be completely content, and then melt into the grass. Lonnie, you think that you've just done it. You complete the process. You feel a little tired and shook, but it just happened. I mean, it looks like it's just happened.
What the fuck was that? Did you
Where is the spell I know I have?
just turn that thing into fucking grass? What happened?
Yeah, this is worth a 3rd level spell slot. This is for science. I'm gonna speak to the grass.
You start to speak to the grass, and you immediately hear the plants saying, like, panic, fear, what's happening, what's happening? But the grass in this portion is silent. Is eerily silent. It is as if though all voices and ears and heads lean towards one point. And you guys all start to notice the grass is growing taller in this portion, but also starting to bend towards the center.
Hello?
Kabancho and Zion and Tento, what do
Do
you
we
do as
hear?
you witness this? You can't hear the plants.
I asked Lonnie
Only
what's going
hears the
on.
plants.
Lonnie, what's going on? What are you doing? Why did you put that soul into the ground like that? Is
Shh.
that how you like? What?
Lonnie's like just shushing Tento.
All right.
What-
Kabancho and
what's going
Zion, are
on?
you two gonna do anything immediately as you witness this shit?
Kabancho is gonna wait and be silent and see how this pans out. Kabancho's confused but doesn't want to interrupt the process.
All right. Zion?
The process is done.
Zion is
I don't know that.
deep in thought about other stuff.
Sounds like souls going to the ground and making grass grow. Whatever.
A potent green light begins to pour out of it, and something like a spirit infused with the nature of grass rose up, and you see a man's face contort, split open, and become 9 different blades as it reaches out, waves their hands. Spectral grass blades thud into the jungle trees nearby, and all of them explode into a spectral green flame as a horrible, horrible scream escapes its unliving throat. As you see, like, boss letters appear saying, Vengeful Spirit of the Blades. And that is, as they say that. So, we will resume next time.
Okay.
That's happening.
So,
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
Everything's fine.
Meanwhile, at the farm,
I feel like I should have counterspelled, but nah, it's too late now.
the corn is rebelling.
Counterspell what? Those speak with plants?
Oh, that's fair. I
Yeah.
guess what you did earlier wasn't a spell.
So, feedback phase, left to right, la 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 la. Casey, hit me with it.
Yeah, I'm glad that you, I guess, like, I don't know, I felt like you gave, like, each group, like, you know, like, sufficient time when we split up and stuff. And yeah, I don't know, lore's interesting. Like, pretty lore heavy session, but I don't know, I found it interesting and stuff. And yeah, I'm glad we were able to get, like, I guess, like, not like everything told to us, but we got like straighter answers. Like, I don't know, I think it's like a good balance of like, hey, it's not everything, but also it's not like, okay, now I have more questions kind of thing. So yeah, like, chill session, but I think pretty solid overall.
Yay.
Also, the bug friends look cute. Can't believe y'all tried to kill him.
I actually made it for my Fabula Ultimate campaign, and I was like, you know what? These would go perfect here.
He was trying to eat me.
You're
just-
full
you
of
did- you
tasty
don't know
magic.
Yeah, they're friends. You're supposed to feed friends, right?
Amazing. Darren?
That's why Zon feels those rocks. It's a lot of fun. I'm glad we ended on something to basically like look forward to. yeah, what Casey said earlier, it's cool that we have all these little lore dumps. They're not giving everything to us. I'm simply just too stupid to put the pieces together, but I'm glad I have everyone else around so they can put the pieces together. That's it. I can't wait to see what the consequences of Lonnie's actions are, because this is usually a Tento thing that's gonna happen. That usually happens. Now it's a Lonnie thing, and I love it.
Amazing.
Well. Look at him. Isn't the consequences of my actions? That's fine.
All right, Shin.
Hey, I do like the little side quests and the extra like exploration we're able to do on the island.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Just gonna add this in real quick. I'm glad that our little side quest thing didn't take a whole session. That was great on the pacing.
Yeah.
That is all.
So a little jaunt out, and then you get into it.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was gonna be my next point of like some of the stuff took a bit of time, but like anything subsequent, you like picked up the pace to like overall not drag it out. And I thought that was well done. I was expecting to like start the process of like attacking the spire, or at least like getting the band together to move forward. But I wasn't quite sure if you were like deliberately avoiding that today or not.
I actually
Yeah.
thought the same thing, and that's why I was ready with all the Harpy stats, because I've had their art for literal years, but the statistics are new for some of them.
But I guess in terms of looking forward to seeing the spire and what the harpies do and what they can what they're all about, and figuring out how everything comes together, because it feels like we've gotten a lot of explanation and lore about the big pieces, but not exactly how they fit together. It'd be interesting to find out, and it'll be good to see Nova the Novice again.
What? So you have another chance to kill him?
I mean, no, hey. So I can keep an eye on him.
Several spider eyes. All right.
That's my 2 cents.
And with that, Kai.
Yeah, I enjoy the lore and the side mission and the loot that came with the side mission. The ethereal bugs are pretty cool. I want their materials, like a monster hunter that I am. And I look forward to seeing what the hell Lonnie just did to grass.
Absolutely nothing. Who said it was me?
It was just the
Y'all watch
fucking
you do it.
grass of all things. Yeah.
Yeah. Wonderful. Well, friends, thank you for joining us. We have a Discord, we have also channels, and also this coming month there's going to be a 50% off sale for the whole catalog. A new Change Stars module just dropped called Hard Passage for Change Stars enjoyers. Watch this space for more about that. And we are going to be raiding now and visiting some other friendly friend. I think we're going to visit Astini. So, cheers, gamers. Bye-bye.